are in a whopping session 16 of the KingMaker series.
Oh,
The group has just managed to defeat the Stag Lord. They brought in a couple bad people for justice to Lady Jamandi. Jamandi Aldori, I should say. And
Okay, that's where we left off. We were traveling to Rostov in our little wagon train.
well, no, you're there. You're in the city.
Yeah, we got to Restall.
I believe Keith asked about purchasing stuff. This is a settlement 9, which means you guys can pick up stuff up to that level. So when you need to do shopping and stuff, we'll worry about that, but it's not something we're going to be doing on stream today. What we are going to be doing today is chatting about the actual king or kingdom that you will be forming. So we've had a very lively debate on our Discord over the past week or so about what kind of charter you guys want, heartland you want to use, the type of government. I think you guys pretty much nailed down your government right quick. But it was the charter that had a lot of discussion, and the hex you've chosen is actually the Thorn. Well, one of the hexes that you were looking at was where the Thorn River Bandit camp when you first went in there. That kind of is a dual hex. It has a river on it and also has a forest. So you could choose either to claim it as a forest or claim it as a river, and that will affect stats. So the way the kingdom chart works is when you select things like your charter, your heartland, and your government, it basically gives you stat boosts just like a character would. So you have culture, economy, loyalty, and stability. 4 main stats. And then each of your choices changes how that affects the base scores. And then you do have a couple of extra bumps that you get to use as well, depending on what you'd like to do. So I've made a new screen, so you can actually see a good look at the way this works. So this, what you see on the screen right now is kind of the GM backside of it, where we start everything.
Crazy.
And once that's done, then we move on to the main parts. So on the on Discord, we had discussed there's basically 4 charters you were thinking of: exploration, expansion, grant, and open. So each of these changes your base stats a certain way. So currently right now on the screen, you can see it's grant, and grant gives you a +2 to economy, -2 to loyalty. If I were to change it to an open, it gives you no bonuses. You just pick one and go. And then expansion.
They're in a mood
Okay,
today.
whoa, they're going to talk. Like, guys need to.
these are up to shenanigans.
They
Oh,
are
yeah.
really in a mood today. Holy mackerel. The expansion would give you +2 to culture, -2 to stability. Exploration gives you a -2 to economy, +2 to stability. And grant gives you a +2 to economy, -2 to loyalty. The river gives you a +2 bonus to economy. Forest, I believe, gives you
Culture.
To culture.
Yeah, +2 to culture. Which is interesting because it actually, in the kingdom, it actually has like hill and mountains are the same type, but here they actually broke it out. Interesting. So like lake is the same as river, but they have it broken out a little differently, just so you have a starting favorite area. Yeah, so river would be economy and forest would be culture. Because I guess you can make more interesting things out of the trees.
It's so full of resources, is my understanding, that you focus more on your culture.
Yeah.
Correct. Now, when we looked at where you wanted to go, you were thinking, here's the Thorn River Bandit Camp. So
On
the
that
Thorn River
area.
Bandit Camp is correct. Yeah.
Between the mine and
The mine is
the temple.
the mine, the temple. Like literally the temple's to the west and the mine is to the east. Yep, the Shaky Bridge is just southeast, so
it's terrifying.
knows that is.
It's fine.
You were also thinking about possibly taking over the Stag Lord's Fort, which is right on the lake. And there was also a discussion about being in the river crossing where both rivers kind of join right there. Yeah.
Yeah, the fork.
So you had options. I mean, you could plunk it down anywhere you wish. It really makes no difference. Your starting hex, when it comes to your choice, you can pick anything you want as long as you have explored it and cleared it. So the thing is, you can also build out from your bases, and you can also explore further away and start claiming other things. That's pretty much the choices that you had.
Oh yeah, and I like the Thorn River Bandit Camp because it's got the mine next to it on one side and the temple on the other side. So those are like prime expansion hexes.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's also got lots of woods around it or plains and hills.
Yeah.
So that if we want to have farmlands, we can have that easily.
You are only a few days away from Oleg's as well.
Yeah, it's nice
which
and
is
close.
nice.
Nice and close to civilization until we, establish our civilization.
Yeah, so like I said, that's up to you guys to, if that's the hex you pick, then the only choice you have to make is whether you claim it as a river or you claim it as a forest. Now, one of the things that Keith mentioned, something to think about is if your favorite terrain is river, it makes expansion a little bit easier because you can expand along the river fast.
Right.
Which is not the directions we were looking
Because in
at.
your favored land,
Yeah.
lets you do 2 actions as long as it's in a hex. Like
Right.
So say we were to choose that and we wanted to expand to the mine first.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of bonuses does that give us?
The mine gives you extra resources. Well,
if we succeed.
You have to succeed.
Yeah.
You have to set up like a work camp. Like there's a lot to do. It's not just you walk around and be like, we have a mine, and suddenly you become wealthy. That's not how it exactly
Well,
works.
yes, that's why I'm asking the question. Like, how does this work?
Well, the idea is you have to expand into the area. You have to basically claim it. You can, I believe, start a work site over at the mine
Yes.
without needing to be
Expanded in that.
expanded
Or
into
claiming
the
the
area or
hex.
claiming it. It's the same like a farmland. You can have any of the hillish areas around your hex have a farmland in it that supplies you, but without being claimed as your own. So
But I guess the next question would be the hex with the mine in it. Is that like the only feature that can be there? You can't like have the mine and farmland?
no, you can do multiple things in there, but
Okay.
it's just so what happens is if you claim a hex with a feature in it, it's added to your little city grid. So you end up with a little city grid. It's a thing 9x9 or something like that. And you can start with things. So and let's say you started with where the Temple of the Elk is. You'd actually start with a temple already there. You wouldn't have to build a temple. A temple's already there.
if we started at the Stag Lord's Fort, we'd have a fort.
Yeah.
Or we'd have a ruin that we could develop
Into a fort. Yeah, exactly.
much more easily than building a fort from scratch. So the mine in that hex is gonna probably provide a bonus to the roll made to establish a work site there, being a mine.
And I think eventually it will also give you more resource points because you have a income, right? You have something that
Well,
you're-
and then that's what makes that square appealing.
absolutely.
The hex appealing.
And bridges are important if you want to establish another settlement. So the rickety bridge can be fixed to make it a good bridge. You
Already-
establish
it's
a
already
settlement.
Fine.
You establish a settlement there, and the settlement can benefit from the defensive effect of the
Mhm.
river and still influence the space across the river.
Okay,
Right.
so if we do the Thorn River Bandit Camp, we have lots of stuff open to us around it.
Oh yeah, you got tons of room. Yeah, you have tons. Pretty much, I think the way the campaign is built is you're going to build somewhere in this first area, because theoretically you could continue exploring this entire place
And not establish.
not establish a kingdom for a while. But
Arcane
again,
is so weird.
the idea is that Lady Jumanji is trying, Lady Aldori, I should say, as you guys like to call her, Lady J. Lady Aldori is, sent you guys out here in the hopes of helping to establish a kingdom that will prosper her city and kind of elevate Restov in the eyes of Bravoy. Yeah, absolutely. There's always going to be political leanings,
Of course.
100%. But
Archie, what are you doing?
he's hiding under.
He was laying on his back, looking at me like the darkness has eyes,
Yep.
type thing. And now he is trying to stick his paws through the hole in the flooring.
Being weird.
He's being very weird.
The cats are in a definite mood. today.
Oh yes.
One of the things, like I said, Keith and I were discussing this as well. A lot of times when you take a turn for your kingdom, you get XP. You can get as low as 10, I think as high as about 40 or 50. So just like a character, it takes about 1,000 experience points to level up the kingdom. So that normally only happens when you actually do a kingdom turn. The kingdoms only get experience on their turns. Kind of like if you guys aren't adventuring, you're not getting experience, right? If you're taking downtime for a month, you don't get experience for them. We're going to be fast tracking it a lot more. So as you guys level, your kingdom will kind of automatically level behind you.
Oh, okay.
And we'll still keep track of XP as well. So there is a chance that your kingdom could start catching up because you guys are level 4, your kingdom's level 1, it's 3 levels below.
Yeah.
Theoretically, by the time you hit maybe 10th, 12th level, your kingdom might actually be on par with you. It'll never exceed your level no matter what.
Right.
That won't happen. But we're going to kind of hand wave some of the experience because, yes, that'd be very, 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 very tedious of doing turn by turns, even though it is important because there are events that happen, et cetera, et cetera.
We have to celebrate holidays.
Oh yes. Oh, that's actually one of the things you can do.
Yes. Yeah, I saw it on the list.
Yeah, it is a cultural thing. Yeah, visiting dignitaries and all this other stuff. So.
Ooh. Well, eventually, Lady J's going to want to come see our place.
Oh, absolutely. Yep. So let's start with the Heartland. That one I think is easy. You guys are committed to the Thorn River Bandit Camp.
I think it's
a
the
good
best choice.
spot.
Yeah.
It is a good
Do you
spot.
want it as river or do you want it as forest?
So what with the grant and the oligarchy, what are our stats looking at?
Okay, so with the grant and oligarchy, you would be at a 10, 14, 10, 10. The river gives you a +2 to economy, so you're sitting currently at a 10, 16, 10.
That's without
Right.
any bonuses.
Correct. That's without your additional bonuses. So just like a character, you do get to add extra bonuses that are not already affected by certain choices. So one of your choices under the grant would be either to add stability or culture. You cannot add to something that add or subtract to anything that already has been adjusted by your choice.
So if we take the river, that gives us a huge boost to economy, which puts us up 16 with the
You'd start at 16. Yeah. Right now, your base numbers, if you look at just the character sheet. And so you look at your base character sheet, you are at 10, 16, 10, 10. Now that is assuming you're taking the grant and the oligarchy. We can still discuss that.
I think we're pretty set on the grant and the oligarchy. Everyone's.
I like Grant. That's the one I like the best.
I think grant is a decent one. What skills does that give us? We got to look at that too. As it gives us industry and arts as our skills.
Okay, where is that? Because I did not see that anywhere.
There's a tab. So if you look on the the main sheet, there's tabs down the side, and skills are the next one.
Okay, so that wasn't in the PDF we were reading?
It was.
Or attempting to
It
read?
is.
Yeah, it is on the Page 14 on the PDF.
So it's not actually
In
where
the
the charters are.
oligarchy, government.
Yeah, no.
No, it's right down from it. It's charter, heartland, and then government. And oligarchy is in there, and it gives us ability boost to loyalty and economy plus a free one. And it gives skill proficiencies in arts and industry and the bonus feat of insider trading.
Other thing that Grant gives us is we get insider training.
That's
And that is
government oligarchy, yes.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, you're right. Oligarchy. Gives us insider training, which is +1 resource dice. So we're rolling
6
resource dice.
Yes.
It also gives a +1 to establish work site and establish trade agreement and trade commodities activities. And I think establishing work site is going to be a big one for us because if we can get that mine up and going.
Oh, we want to establish work sites. We can
Also,
get
with the
lumber mills. We can get
Yeah.
lumber camps and mining camps.
Yeah, now with the grant, because it is grant from Restov and Bravoy and Lady J, you guys will always have a circumstance bonus working with her on things like trade agreements and stuff like that. You'll get a bonus.
Right.
The one thing to remember, like I said, is when you look at the bonuses and negatives, it's flavor text for the stat line decrease or increase. So, like when we were discussing, I think it was exploration, it gave you
A penalty to
expansion.
one of them
I think it
gave
was expansion. Expansion gave you a negative to economy. It said you are indebted. And Gwen was asking, well, what is the debt load? I'm like, well, the debt load is a -2 to your economy. It's not like you start with 10,000 gold pieces. So the one thing that everyone needs to know is you don't use like gold pieces to buy stuff. You use resource points. So
Well, yeah, and I understood that part, but
Yeah.
so much is dependent on economy, and being able to build and being able to feed our people and having a decent quality of life, that starting with a negative to economy is a really bad thing.
well, you can always balance those out with your bonuses as well, right? You can, because you have your 2 stat bumps that you still can assign. So you could theoretically get rid of the negatives to be better. So right now, if you take grant and you take oligarchy, that is your stat line: 10, 16, 10, 10, with 2 stats that you still can boost, which would be into either culture or stability. So you could bump both by 2, or you could bump 1 by 4. It makes no difference. It makes no difference to me what line you choose.
Right.
But it is up to you guys which ones you'd like to boost.
But as for the expansion or the heartland, whether it's river or forest, either we get a boost to economy, which puts us up to a 16, or we get a boost to culture, which leaves economy at a 14 and culture at a 12.
Might be good because I'm not liking these -1s at 10.
No.
Should be zeros.
Yeah.
It actually reads down.
Yeah, it says -1 on 10s.
I don't know why. Oh, vacancies penalties because we don't have any vacancies.
Oh, because
Yeah.
we haven't assigned
You
leaders
haven't
yet.
assigned leaders yet. Well, we're going to
okay.
get to that.
That makes
That's gonna
total
take a
sense.
little
I
bit
was
longer.
wondering why
So-
it was sitting at 10 and I was seeing -1s.
Right.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
You need leaders. Leader.
It's a good thing we have Freds.
Yeah, so if we choose forest, beauty.
But then it makes actions
Extending
within
along
the
the shore.
forest easier to do.
Yeah, you can do actions
As
in the
opposed to
forest. You
just
can do
the
2
river.
actions in the forest.
So what are the actions? Like if I'm going to make a decision, I need to know all the information.
There's what were the actions?
So there's like work sites. You can create a work site. If we choose forest, we can have 2 work sites in the
That's
same
the
forest
box.
hex because that's our heartland. That's what our people are most comfortable with. Or we could have then instead 2 work sites on a river. It basically gives you bonuses to do with that terrain, with that type of hex. So if you want bonuses to doing anything,
Yeah, once per kingdom activity turn during the region activities step of the activity phase, you can attempt 2 region activities simultaneously as long as they take place in the same hex and that hex contains the same terrain as your heartland.
Yeah.
So you can do 2 region activities in
so
the
like
river region. if you
Establish a
choose
work site would be one activity.
and
and you can do a
establish
second one.
farmland.
Yeah.
Establish a farmland.
So there's arguments for both sides.
Oh,
There is.
absolutely.
Yes, there is.
In
I
terms
mean-
of expanding, if we eventually want to expand down in the direction of the Stag Lord's camp, the river would be a better choice because it's going to make us working our way down the river a little bit easier.
Well, for me,
If you
in
do,
terms of expansion plans, I'd want to do mine first, the temple second, and then Stealth on the River for third.
Right.
now conversely, if you do those two actions, you're at -2 on the checks for both actions.
Yeah.
So we'll probably wind up only doing one action anyway, so that we don't take any penalties. So
Unless it's something we're really high at, like if it's an economy action and we keep the river, then we're looking at a +3 before we do any other modifiers. Which could be if we invest the roll that increases economy, then it's an even higher. It's actually +3, sorry.
I'm not sure if that's the thing. I don't know all the actions that are region activities,
Yeah, I don't either.
and I don't know.
There's a
There's a lot.
lot.
There's
We will.
region activities. There's civic activities.
There's so many.
There's 3 activities: region activities, civic activities, and something else. It's basically your 3 actions.
I guess the real question is, when it comes down to the stats, do we want to have a really high economy or do we want to boost culture instead?
I'd like to have a little bit of boost to everything.
Well, remember, you still have 2
Bonuses.
bonus stats.
You got more than 2. You've got the free bonus from oligarchy as well.
Correct.
So, but the first step is the charter, right?
First step is the charter. So
Okay.
your free boost would be either to culture or stability. You have no other.
You can't go to loyalty. Yeah.
You cannot go to
That's
loyalty
law.
because it already has a negative.
Yeah.
You cannot go to economy because it already has a +2.
Positive shit.
So the only thing you can do is
I would suggest, since we're set on, sounds like we're set on Grant. I know that's not your favorite, but
I'm fine with Grant.
okay. So let's say we'll lock in Grant
Okay.
and we'll lock in oligarchy. We'll do the stat boosts from those 2, and then we'll decide where we want to put whether river or
Okay,
The forest.
All right, so I can blank it out now.
okay.
So you have no terrain choice.
Right.
So right now your stats are 10, 14, 10, 10.
So then the Grant, we can either boost culture or stability,
Correct.
or we can boost one of those 2 for a +4 instead of a +2. Did I understand it? Is that how that works?
Correct.
Okay. The only one we can't touch with Grant is loyalty, because we're basically using
And economy. Because those are the 2 that are altered by
That's
the
right.
Yes, yeah,
That's the
right.
fixed bonus, yeah.
But
So your choice
loyalty-
is culture or stability.
so basically Grant, as I understand it, the explanation of why we lose loyalty is because we're using a lot of Rostov's
Correct.
all these people.
Yeah, we've got people coming.
No, they're
from-
loyal to Brevoy.
Rostov and
So they
Brevoy
kind of have a bit of
primarily.
yeah, they kind of have a bit of a split
Correct.
loyalty
for now,
for now.
Okay,
Absolutely.
which I'm okay with because we're the one that we're depending on them to establish this kingdom.
okay. So
So I would suggest,
let's take forest as the heartland, and that'll boost culture to 12.
well,
right
let's do the Grant and the oligarchy first and see what it looks like. So
Yes.
the Grant, do we want to put both into either culture or stability, or do we want to do one boost to each? If we're looking for a more balanced, we might want to do one boost.
That's what I would want to do.
You okay with that, Keith?
Well, let's plug it in and see what it looks like.
All right. So which one do you want to boost
We're
for
gonna
Grant?
boost both culture and stability.
One in each.
So you want to do 1 for culture?
Yep.
Okay.
And then one for stability. And remember, our bonuses are 1 higher than we've got there because we don't have our
And
rules
Counselors,
invested.
yeah.
that.
Okay, so that looks fairly balanced. And then oligarchy, was there a free boost?
So
on
you only
that?
got 1 free boost for the Grant.
Oh, you only get 1 free boost. For that.
Correct.
Okay, so then do we want to do culture or stability?
Grant gave us economy plus a free ability boost.
Correct. And you took culture for the argument.
And now oligarchy gives us
Economy and loyalty boosts, and you have
Yes.
1 additional boost that you can enter. And again, it has to be either culture or stability because economy and loyalty were already boosted by
So then let's
oligarchy.
put it in stability. And that gives us our balanced. And then we decide whether we want to choose the forest heartland or the river heartland. And one will boost up our culture to 14.
Forest would be, this would be your stat line 14, 14, 10, 12 with a forest.
Right.
Like right now, anything we do with politics is based on loyalty.
And
You can't.
river economy is would be a 12, 16, 10, 12. Now, do remember, you also still get ability boosts, just like a
I was
character.
going to say.
But 5, 10, 15, and 20, you get to boost 2 abilities.
Yes.
Okay.
So these are not your
Set in stone.
set in stone.
So this has oligarchy, grant, and
River
and
right
river,
now.
and river as economy.
Correct.
Yeah.
Well, if we think we want a strong economy, this would be the way to go.
So looking at
It's hard to say,
activities.
because just having read the abilities, the description that's there, this looks good. But then I now know it affects the things that we can do in the future, and I don't know enough about those to make a decision.
Right.
And I have tried to read them. It's not
Well,
like I didn't.
no
try
matter what,
before.
nothing's ever going to be perfect.
Yeah.
You will make your choices. You will make wrong choices. You'll make right choices. And the dice rolls may hate you anyway. Your
That's
+3
true.
may roll a nat 1 and you're fucked anyway. So
Looking at the activities and the skills required for the activities, if we want to do anything political, it's based on loyalty.
Right. Which we can't boost with the choices.
And if we're looking at doing anything warfare, is based on stability.
Right.
And economy is going to get us stuff. But there's a few things that you can throw money at too. I would say drop economy down to 14, change it so change it to
forest.
forest.
Go 14, 14.
And the choice we had between culture or loyalty, put it in loyalty.
We don't have
You don't have those
we don't
choices.
have loyalties.
You only ever had culture and stability.
We had
Grant was economy and loyalty, a plus-minus, and oligarchy was economy, loyalty, both pluses. So you cannot increase that anymore.
no, we can though. We can take the free ability boost from oligarchy instead of putting it into culture,
That's
put it
true.
into loyalty.
That is true.
that's-
No, because
No, because we're modifying loyalty already.
yeah, economy is
So then
oligarchy
where's your grant?
already modifies economy and loyalty.
Let's
You
look,
cannot boost either of those.
let's look at Grant.
Laws, loyalty. You can't put
So you can't
free.
boost it. So yeah,
Correct.
there's nothing
yeah,
we can
so
do
the
about
loyalty, loyalty is flaw with grant, but boosted back to the 10 with oligarchy.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yes.
At least it's not an 8. We can't raise it higher than 10 at this time. Which
But
kind of
it's
makes
not
sense.
a negative, which is a good thing.
Which kind of makes sense because
We're due.
we're leaning so heavily on Brevoy
Yeah.
with the grant.
And the
Until-
political stuff, I don't think is something we're going to be doing right away.
Probably not.
So we have time to bring it up.
Yeah,
I like this. This
I
is
like
a
this stat line.
balanced number.
It is a balanced number. We don't have the really high economy, but with our
It's high enough that it'll give us stuff to start with and get going.
and with our oligarchy, anyways, we get an additional resource die, anyways.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
So it doesn't-
resources aren't based on our economy anyway.
So yeah, I think this is probably the best way to go to start. Right.
Okay.
Well, we could place something in stability instead of culture. Raise stability instead of culture.
We could,
Is there a reason for that?
but then we're losing.
You'd end up with a 12, 14, 10, 14.
Yeah.
You
so
you,
it's-
you just flip your culture
Yes.
and your stability.
And I think, I mean, which are we more concerned about? Are we more concerned about culture?
So
more
that's the question: is why would one be better than the other?
It's
what
not.
does
They
that
just
let
need
us
to
do?
do different things. Exactly. So
It's like, would you want to have
one-
athletics or acrobatics? Well, one will do something, one will let you climb and stuff, the other one will let you tumble around.
Yeah, but the athletics acrobatics, I know what that means.
If
With
you
this,
click-
I don't.
Yes, but if you click on the skills tab, it shows you everything: stability, culture, economics. It shows you what each of those are.
One,
And if you mouse
2,
over the name,
3,
it tells you what the skill does.
Rather than endlessly scrolling through the PDF, which is what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, no, that PDF it's good, but I don't
Not
personally
organized.
I don't like that they don't have bookmarks for you.
Yes.
That'd
oh
be
my
so
God.
much easier.
Well, that's why I gave you guys the link to the that website, which is all linked around. Right?
So- Stability is linked to claiming hexes, gathering livestock, rest and relaxation. This is the
Yeah, I know.
activities. Build roads, clear a hex, demolish, which you need to do to build things, establish a settlement, establish a work site. That's all engineering, which is based on stability. Defense, which is based on stability. Fortify hex, provide care. Agriculture, which is based on stability. Establish farmland, harvest crops. Everything involved in growing the kingdom is based on stability. Or defending the kingdom is based on stability.
Yeah, I think maybe swap the. What do you think? Swap the culture. Like I think, and also it makes more sense to me that if we're a little less focused on the arts, folklore, magic, and scholarship.
Yeah, we're not ready for that. Brand new kingdom wouldn't be ready for that yet.
No, so I think it would make more sense to start with a higher stability than culture. So I
Yeah.
You
think
want to
keep
change your boost from your
Culture to
grant
stability.
from culture to stability?
it. Yeah,
Yes,
I think that
please.
makes more sense.
Yep.
Well, needs to.
All right. So
We
now
need
you're at a
this.
12,
This is good
14, 10,
information.
Yes,
14.
please.
We need the stability for building.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, now here's the fun part. You guys get to pick who's going to be where.
Oh, I started reading this, but
Yeah.
didn't get very
And the
far
beautiful
in.
part about Fantasy Grounds, at least with this, is I literally pick your little icon up and move it over to the spot, and it fills it in.
So, Gwen, if you're wondering what to do, if you look at the main sheet in Fantasy Grounds and you mouse over the roll, it actually tells you what
Oh,
they
nice.
do. So
Correct.
It's
Everything
super-
on this is actually has pop-ups on it. So if you mouse over like corruption, decay, etc., it gives you a nice little information on what it is.
Yeah, little board.
So let's start with your ruler.
I think we all agreed that was going to be Carly.
It's going to be
She's
Ardella.
got the political skills.
1 second.
Okay.
Nothing in the kingdom builder is based on your character skills.
No,
Correct.
absolutely.
Absolutely nothing, which is kind of a piss off to me.
But
But
it-
Well, yeah, I thought it
But
specifically
for
said
role
to
play,
be ruler, you needed to have political skills, which is why we wanted it to
Which
be
is-
Ardella, because she has those.
Well, you have to remember also that a lot of times what will happen is if you're trying to do some political stuff and that, there will be some role play involved, and there will likely be social aspects to it
and
because we have the subsystem for it, like we did in the.
to be honest, I have higher stats in both society and diplomacy.
But Oblar does not want to be
But
the leader.
Oblar does not want to be the leader.
Now,
He's
Ardella does have the background of
I intentionally did not take diplomacy.
that she's already of noble blood. So-
aspiring river monarch is her background.
Yeah. So
Well, she's going to be a forest monarch
to
instead.
me, it all around makes sense to have her as our ruler.
Well,
I
yeah.
intentionally did not take diplomacy as one of the few skills that I do not get, so that I wouldn't overlap on.
And
anyone.
now that I've put her in as the ruler, your loyalty on the sheet has now changed back to a
And
10.
it's a vested, and
Because
it actually increases.
Correct. All right. Let's go over some of the positions. So we have counselor. Counselor is a liaison between governments and citizens. They study issues with academic analysis, but also interpret the desire of the citizenry and present proclamations to the people in understandable ways. They also serve as an advisor to other leaders, particularly to the ruler. That's one.
So, to me, including our NPCs, the person who that role screams,
Lindsay.
Lindsay. I think Lindsay should be our counselor.
Okay. Emissary. The emissary keeps state secrets, oversees clandestine intrigues, and deals with criminal elements within the nation. They manage foreign policy and
Yes.
interaction.
You want me formulating our foreign policy? Okay, I'll take it.
As well as interactions
Anyone who's
of
had any thoughts
political
about that
organization
stuff, so
and power
yes.
brokers at home. Whether or not your emissary is a public figure or someone who manipulates events behind the
I'm
scenes,
Viserys, man.
their role is in the nation remains the same. So we're thinking Solomon as your emissary.
Yes.
I
I'm thinking
guess.
so, yeah.
Now remember, you may not have enough people to fill all the roles. That happens,
Right.
right? So
So we also want to pick the ones that are that we think are going to be most important.
the general leads nation's military, heading its armies and managing subordinate military commanders. The general is responsible for looking after the needs of the nation's military and directing them in times of war.
When looking over the roles, are there any roles that you think stand out to you?
Well, that's why I was trying to read them, but I didn't get through them all.
Okay.
All right, we can table the general for a second, so we're going to go over them. The Magister is in charge of all things magical in the nation, attending to how the supernatural affects ordinary citizens. They promote higher learning in the arts of magic, whether arcane, divine, occult, or primal. They oversee any aspects of government bureaucracy in which magic can be of service to the needs of the nation.
I think that'd be a good one for your character.
I was thinking about that, but if we're not focusing on culture right now,
Yeah.
that maybe not.
Treasure,
Because
viceroy,
whichever role, oh, so I don't understand the invested then. So long as we have someone in that role, it's not. I thought it was just the PCs. I thought it was only 4.
Nope,
No, you need to
it's all of them.
Oh,
That's why we
so
have
long as you
friends.
fill them, then they're considered a vested. Okay.
Correct.
I guess that's why we have friends.
Treasurer monitors the nation's funds and the state of business and industry,
I kind of
as well as citizens' confidence in the economy and the growth of nation's manufacturing capacity. They work to ensure a fair market for all, investigate those who take advantage of the system, and handle taxation issues.
I mean, if Keith wants that one, that could also be put as emissary.
good with emissary or treasurer.
Viceroy plans and implements the nation's expansion and development, both in its territories and its settlements. They manage the infrastructure of the nation, overseeing major capital improvements and growing the networks that connect the hinterlands with the cities at the nation's heart, helping keep the nation moving and growing.
It's a -1 to stability-based checks, but the skill thing is economy. Huh?
Yeah, they all seem to be. Well, not all of them.
They're not necessarily in lockstep.
Yeah.
Correct. They serve dual purposes. Warden monitors the safety, security, and overall health of the nation, its lands, and its borders. They manage scouts and patrols in the countryside, respond to all local threats and menaces as needed, and oversee the nation's overall defense and health.
The other thing is we can switch leaders. Someone. Like for right now, I don't think the Magister is all that important, except for the warfare. The -4 to warfare.
We aren't going to war.
But we're not going to war
Let's
right
hope
away.
not.
So
No, but for general, I was thinking the other dwarf, Helgrim or whatever his name is.
Harem
Yeah, would be a good choice for that.
for the general?
Yeah.
He has no interest.
Does he want to be our warden? Does he be good at that too?
Not particularly.
No, he doesn't want to. He doesn't.
He's a
doesn't
doom
have
and gloom cleric. He wants the world to end.
would he be interested in Magister then?
the magic thing. I don't know if we want him educating people though.
It's not that he wants the world to end. It was my impression. It's that he's prepared for it.
It's inevitable. It's going to come.
The end is
so.
nigh. He's the crazy dude with the placard says the end is nigh and
But
walks
he's
up
not,
and down
he's
the
not
boulevards.
necessarily actively working towards the end. He's just ready for it. My impression. Well, do we want this guy part of a government at all? Is the question.
Well, yes.
I was thinking for general or warden. Why can I never remember the names? Not the bar. I was thinking maybe the barbarian for general, and the fighter for warden. If neither of us wants those.
I don't know what I want.
I think
I'd vote you for emissary personally.
Viceroy is interesting.
who, me or her.
Yeah, you.
You be the treasurer and he be the emissary? If you like that idea. Which role did you want?
That's just it. I don't know which role I would
Just
want.
like me, I don't know.
But I was thinking as we were discussing, as Corey was reading the Viceroy,
Like the idea.
that might actually be a good one for you because you're trying to keep the nature destructive tendencies under control would be, and I would see that would be, you could be a good check and balance for that.
Yeah.
Like you could be ensuring that industry isn't damaging the environment.
Well, yes, we can expand that way, but you have to
And
do it
let's-
like this
Let's
to have
put
the least.
Yeah.
rogue in charge of law enforcement. The warden.
It makes sense from a certain perspective.
I mean, it does too.
All right, so
Treasure seems like
did you want to be treasurer then?
No, the warden.
You want to be warden?
Yep. We now have a secret police.
All right,
There is
put me
no
down as
public
viceroy
police.
then.
Looking at it,
Be concerned if your
Emissary
door gets
does
knocked
fit
on after sunset.
it does kind of fit with Oblar's ideas in that he would want to be the power behind the power, not.
None of
So-
us want to be leader.
Oblar wants to be emissary?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, that's warden. And sorry, Sienna is doing which one? Viceroy?
Now, do we control the NPC's turn, or do we?
NPCs just kind of function
just
to
fill
give
roles.
your
Okay,
give your
so
numbers.
it's still just us four that get the 3 actions.
Correct.
Okay,
Yeah.
no matter what.
Yeah, you guys do your turn, and just if you have people in place, it gives you not a penalty.
Yeah, that's
if you
all
don't
it
have a
is.
person in place, it gives you a penalty. If you have a person in the role, then you're fine.
I
I don't think the minus is stack, because that's pretty harsh. -8 to warfare checks.
I think they do actually. So I would think.
Knock is treasurer
God.
or general. Oh, magister.
Knock's licking his fucking cooker. He's like, yeah. Lady J's like, hide the silverware.
Silverware. You got no silverware.
Yeah, you got no silver anymore.
Don't worry, we've got knock on one of those baby
On the baby league.
No,
Yeah.
Just put
He's
in
like, "What's
baby
this
gates,
for?"
you'll be fine.
Yeah.
He's like, what's this for?
Make sure to
Door, it
put
makes
the
you
weird
fight
bubbles
harder.
on the doors so you
Yeah.
can't get a good
Yeah,
grab
exactly.
and twist the door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Because his hands
So
aren't
we
big
have
enough to squeeze.
Valerie and Miri that can
Correct.
help us.
and
Valerie
the
with the
dwarf
candy.
might be. So.
So we can talk to the 3 men and say, hey, these are the roles that we still got open, General, Magister, Treasurer. Are any of you interested in helping us with building the kingdom by taking on one of these roles?
Yes.
I think
Amiris as magister.
you just literally just said her name, and I can't remember it.
Valerie?
Valerie. I think Valerie, being so honest, she might be a good shoe in for the treasurer, if she's okay with that. And then general would be
Amiri
Amiri. She's all about fighting.
or violence.
Well, she'd be a great leader.
Yeah.
For that sort of thing.
I mean, maybe a bit headstrong, but in the reality, we're controlling things.
She's just
Yeah.
she's just the figure.
Yeah.
She
So the only role we have
she
left
issued
open.
an order and I correct it.
Well, then, yeah, I would suggest if they're okay for it, Amiri is general,
Valerie's Treasurer.
Valerie is treasurer, and then
Algrim
the
or
dwarf
Magister if
is
he's
the magister.
Yes, you can educate our people in the ways of magic.
I don't think there'll be a whole lot of education to begin with.
I really don't want knock as part of our.
Oh god,
part of our
no!
government.
That's a
I'm
terrible
sorry.
idea.
That's
Rude.
This is my second in command.
You're the warden? Yep, makes sense to me. Here, take him. Here's his leash.
Especially a goblin run by Corey.
We tried to
He's
do the
not
captain
trusted, but he's my second in command.
And you remember that you play a goblin in my other campaign. I know how you operate goblins.
Listen.
Plus, he's done it in LARP a few times.
Danger
He's played in
toddler,
another
danger
campaign.
Danger
Toddlers.
toddlers for the win.
Your toddler that throws around fire and metal.
Yes.
Amiri is not interested in being a general. She does not lead armies.
Okay. So how about Valerie?
Over, you
general?
just stand there and wave your sword.
Valerie would be
Or your
very
axe.
interested in being the
general?
general. Sure.
Awesome.
So what would Mary be interested in then?
Magister, treasurer.
You seem to be really interested in magic, but
She is more primal and kind of wanting to be kind of out and about.
Oh, so she
she
prefer
doesn't
to be
want
the
a party.
warden.
Doesn't want it. Okay.
What about the ranger dude?
Oh yes.
Condion?
Kandayo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, would he be interested in being either the treasurer or magister?
Had to take off your shoes. You'll need all 20 digits to count as treasurer. You'll need all 20 digits.
Yeah, because it is the whole group of us establishing it.
Some dude we just met in the wilderness. Hey, you want to give us a hand?
Want to be in control of our money? I trust him.
Yeah, I think so. I think he proved himself.
Ekandayo would be also interested in, because he's a ranger, being kind of out and about in the wilderness.
Cool, they can work for me.
Would the dwarf be interested in being the magister?
Oh, I think they crashed. Yep, they crashed.
Or the treasurer?
He has no problem being the master.
Okay. So then our only choice is knock for treasurer.
Or we leave it open. It's not.
Then it's a -1 to all economy-based checks.
Yeah, I'd much prefer to have somebody out in there, but we don't have anybody good.
All right. So you want to put Harem in
As
as
magister.
magister? Okay.
Yeah.
Ouch.
And I'm guessing that Oleg has no interest in.
No, Oleg and Svetlana are
Doing their own thing.
doing their own thing. Yeah.
I mean, we could have counted them if we put our settlement on their place.
Okay.
I mean,
I still think that's
Voting is economy based. Exploration is economy based.
So if you want to make her an NPC, maybe.
Oof, exploration is economy based.
Or we just leave it open for now until hopefully we meet someone. But it is a -1 to all economy-based checks. Mind you, not first round anyways, because we don't really need. I don't think we need economy-based checks right off the bat. Boating. So if we want to go fishing, that would be.
Exploration is economy based. Industry is economy based.
Ooh.
Established settlement.
So we really do need somebody in his treasure.
But established settlement can either be engineering or industry.
Yeah.
Engineering stability based. Strive for economy based, strong economy.
You wouldn't be willing to switch from warden to treasurer and let one of the NPCs be warden. We've got a couple that might be interested in that role that won't take treasurer.
I just realized the problem with this whole me being an emissary thing.
What?
I can't lie. I guess the person that
You've seen Wheel of Time, right?
Then change the treasurer.
Keep state secrets.
I just don't talk about them.
Yeah, pretty much.
You lie by omission.
then change the treasurer. The warden has to be filled. I'll move to emissary, move to treasurer.
What was the penalty for not having an emissary?
Emissary is -1 to loyalty.
Any loyalty-based checks?
So the two characters, the two NPCs that didn't want the roles we had open, would either of them be interested in being the warden? Because that's more out and about.
Both would.
So that one would be easier to fill. But Keith, it's up to you.
So many decisions.
It's also picking skills too. We got four skills to pick.
Correct. Yeah, you still have to choose which
I mean, we get
skills you guys are trained in as well.
We get arts and industry, and
All right. Well, let's focus on the leaders first, and then we'll worry about going to the next tab.
I'm just wondering what are region activities?
Unless you want to go back to being emissary, and I can be the treasurer, and then we can have one of our.
Okay.
You're still doing skullduggery and.
And who would you like to have as your warden?
So it's either Valerie or...
We
Yeah,
have
we-
Valerie
all of
Ekendayo.
we know more about Valerie.
Yeah, I'd say Valerie.
I'd say Valerie.
Yeah,
Okay.
If we can get all the postings filled, then I don't give a shit where I go.
So
True, it's between...
the humorous part
We can
is
put someone who can lie in as the emissary.
the humorous part of all this is you actually pick people who are willing to do the jobs and are considered to be invested right off the hop.
Oh, awesome! Yay, go us!
Lindsay will allow you to have a success one step higher on the first action you do with her as counselor. Same with the general, same with the magister, and same with the warden.
We did it!
Nice.
Also, as long as you keep these folks on your side, and at least in the friend category, the like category, they also give you additional activities that you can choose from to do during the kingdom turn. So they bring in
More
special
choices.
they bring in special abilities for certain things,
Cool.
which is really freaking cool.
That is cool.
So like as in harems is the best ever.
Okay, what's his?
He evangelizes the end.
Yeah, because that's what we want.
Which
To be
does what?
evangelist.
His presence as magister allows the following leadership activity during a kingdom turns activity phase. Harem spends the time preaching the end of times. While his sermons certainly aren't for everyone, his methods avoid deliberately antagonizing those who see hope in the world while simultaneously providing ease and calm to the more desperate among the kingdom's citizens.
Interesting.
Attempt a basic folklore check to determine how effective his sermons are. A critical success. Harem... Actually, I'll bring this here so people can see. Harem's prayers soothe and calm the more criminal-minded citizens for the time being, reduce unrest by 1d4, and either reduce crime by 2 or reduce corruption or strife by 1. As a success, Harem's prayers serve to redirect the calm and discord, reduce unrest by d3. And a failure is as success, but reduce unrest by only 1. And a critical failure is increase unrest by 1d4 and increase decay by 1.
Harem's prayers have unsettled some of your citizens.
Lindsay,
Prayers have unsettled some of your citizens.
Lindsay's downtime activity is spread the legend. Lindsay works to spread the word of the party's heroics and achievements, both through word of mouth and by distributing chapbooks or one-sheets dealing their exploits. Attempt a basic arts check to determine the success of Lindsay's efforts. If she has critical success, not only do Lindsay's stories bring pride and patriotism to the nation, but also help increase its glory. Reduce unrest by d6, and at the start of the next kingdom turn, gain only one bonus fame. In addition, if the kingdom experiences a dangerous random event, reduce that event's level modifier by 1, which is actually pretty cool.
Yeah, we gain fame.
Yes,
or
your wife
infamy.
agrees with you being treasurer. Because you can't lie. You can't lie about the money.
Sure.
Valerie, So Valerie's downtime activity is warfare exercises. She spends her time studying the nation's armies, speaking with its commanders, researching historical records, and running simulations in war rooms to help predict the best ways to prepare for upcoming conflicts. She gets to attempt a basic warfare check. The critical success. The exercises reveal a wide range of suggestions for the PCs to use during that month's military exercises. All army activities taken during the kingdom activity phase gain a +1 circumstance bonus. This bonus increases to +2 at kingdom level 9, etc., etc. In addition, the next time this kingdom turn that you roll a critical failure on an army activity, the result is improved to a regular failure instead.
Wow.
And for Amiri, she would like to create a gladiatorial arena. This is a very high-level structure. But the gladiatorial arena is sprawling open-air field surrounded by seating and viewing areas. It includes extensive underground barracks and training facilities for gladiators to use. So this allows you to actually create a gladiatorial arena if you wish. And again, it's the structure 15.
So it'll be way in the future.
It is way in the future.
That's our wondrous building.
Yes, but it costs 4 lots. So when you look at like a little grid of your, it would take 4.
Well, it's a
It
stadium,
takes
so yes.
58 resource points, 10 lumber, and 30 stone.
But do we really want to be known as that gladiatorial?
We gotta work on our fame.
So we need the ability to hold.
This gives you an item bonus to celebrate holiday, to higher adventures, and to warfare checks in order to quell unrest. I'm a +3 for this building.
So yes, eventually we're gonna want it, but it's gonna be like way down the road.
Now again, like Owen said, though,
I guess so long as they're not slaves in the gladiatorial pits, it's
Oh,
all
it's all
free men.
voluntary.
well, one of the things to remember also is, as the game progresses, you may
Or
find
criminals.
new
What are you talking about?
you may find
How
new
dare you cast
allies.
such
You may
aspersions
find
on my
you may
character.
lose allies, right? This could all change, but
Yeah,
for the time being, this is an interesting one.
that's hilarious.
And now there's one last
Yep.
one.
Now I'm curious as to what Tortuccio would have done for us if we had him as an ally. Can you get him as an ally?
Well, I'm sure
mean,
you can,
there's-
just not with our mix.
There's no
maybe?
chance in hell. But
Keep me from killing them.
Let me guess, he'd either want to be ruler or magister.
So even though Ekondio is not part of the leadership, because you have gained his friendship, you have a new activity as well,
Oh, fun.
a new downtime activity called supplementary hunting. So, following Ekondio's advice, rural-dwelling citizens work to supplement stores of food and resources through hunting and trapping. Attempt a basic wilderness check to gain to gather excess livestock from the local wildlife, ranches, and farms to generate food and commodities. On a critical success, you gain 1d4 food commodities, 1 luxury commodity, and 1 bonus resource die at the start of your next kingdom turn.
Fun.
On a success, choose only one of those 3 options listed above. If they fail, you cannot attempt a supplementary hunting on the kingdom's next turn. And critical failure is the same as that, but you gain unrest.
Oh, glad we got him. He seems
So, yeah. I can look up Tartuccio. I don't even know if I even have him.
I'm curious as to what his thing would have been.
oh, don't recognize.
Tartuccio is not even part of the...
It's
He's
not
not in it.
possible to make him an ally. I didn't think so.
No, he's meant as an antagonist. It worked, he is.
Oh yes,
Okay. So, we have gone through and we've got the Grant Charter, the Forest Heartland, and Oligarchy as your government. So, you've now set your nation leaders. So, Lindsay is your counselor. Oblar is your emissary.
Nope.
No, sorry. That's Solomon.
Solomon is
I'm looking at the images. Valerie is your general. Harm is your magister. Ordella is your ruler. Oblar is your treasurer. Sienna is the viceroy, and Amiri is your warden currently.
Yay.
All right, so one of the things is when we look at your skills, you guys still get to choose 4 skills that you're going to be trained in. So currently you're trained in arts and you are trained in industry. You cannot bump those up currently, but again, just like a character, at certain intervals, you will be able to go from trained to, what's the second one out for trained? Expert, thank you. Then master, then legendary. So you can bump those up as you go, but for right now, you do get to pick 4 other ones that you wish. So you have agriculture, boating, defense, engineering, exploration, folklore, intrigue, magic, politics, scholarship, statecraft, trade, warfare, and wilderness. And yes, if you mouse over them, it does actually tell you pretty much a brief rundown of what the skill means.
Be more useful to know what the skills are used in what
Actions.
kingdom actions. Yeah.
You should be able to.
Yes, there's a whole chart on that in the PDF. So like agriculture
Page.
key ability is 20. Key ability is stability. Untrained activities, establish farmland, harvest crops. Trained activities, none.
Okay. Yeah, I see.
I think agriculture is probably a very good one for us to take.
Engineering, the ability stability, build roads, clear hex, demolish, establish settlement, and establish work site.
Oh, but it's got trained irrigation and repair reputation. That's a good one.
Okay.
Industry we already have. Exploration is economy based. It's abandon hex, claim hex, clear hex, and hire adventure. All can be done untrained.
Intrigue is also interesting. The trained activities are clandestine business, pledge fealty, repair reputation. So statecraft. Oh, like I said, we don't need those right away. We can work on those bones as the king levels up. I do like irrigation as a skill, or irrigation engineering.
I like both engineering and agriculture because we
What
need to be able
are
to
we
feed our
at?
people.
Well, absolutely for agriculture, but that's why I like engineering because it has irrigation as.
The good news is you're right by a river.
But
It'd
what
be easy.
basically what
But we still
irrigation
need to figure out
does
how to do
is
it.
if there's a plan, if there's a hex that's not adjacent to a hex that's not adjacent to a river, sorry, that doesn't have a river through it, it basically gives it the river subtype. So like that one hex that we were looking at below the
Oh, here it is, irrigation.
mine, we were looking at that.
Oh, yeah,
We
that's
could
the
give
one
it the river type.
Yeah,
that's one away from the river.
Here.
that's just one of his trained activities. I
Yeah.
mean, looking at engineering, build roads, clear hex, demolish, establish settlement, and establish work site. Everything involved in growing
Yeah.
the kingdom.
Stuff
So
we're
far,
going
I
to need
think-
off the bat.
So far, I think agriculture and engineering.
Okay.
Yeah,
So agriculture, engineering. Okay. Boom. And
Even-
boom. That's
even-
2 of your 4.
industry doesn't have much going for it, but it is another one that you can roll for
Which we already have.
established settlement
We already
and
have that.
trade commodity. Yes.
And I was looking at exploration, but if you look at wilderness, it has a lot of the same stuff.
Yes, exploration,
And then claim livestock.
abandon hex,
rest.
claim hex, clear hex, hire adventure. Wilderness has
Claim hex,
Hopefully you hire
better
good
livestock,
adventures.
rest for life.
I think
Not Tartuccio.
I think wilderness might be another good one for a third choice. And for our fourth choice, I kind of like defense.
I like trade too.
Trade is another good one.
But what do these numbers look like at the moment?
I can look at your numbers as well. So when you put your proficiency in agriculture, you're now at +5. Engineering is sitting at a +5.
Wilderness already
Your
has a plus
arts
3.
is sitting at +4 because you've got that as part of the oligarchy.
Right, and wilderness doesn't have any trained activity.
Yeah.
Why is the...
Right, Corey, didn't you?
Oh, we get a +1 from having the spot filled?
Correct.
Or and in the case of a warden, a -4 on all region activities. Wow.
Can you flip the one on the screen to
The skills?
skills?
Yep. Maybe. Yep.
Find where the mouse is.
There we go.
Oh, on defense, we're already sitting at a +3 bonus.
Yeah.
Correct. Actually, the lowest one you have right now looks like it's your intrigue,
Yes, loyalty based
politics, statecraft. Is everything with loyalty
Anything
is
loyalty
lower.
based.
So
But that makes sense because that's your lowest stat.
that's our weak
Yeah.
point, yeah. Intrigue. Although I do like the Pledge of Fealty, where you can get people, other cultures to swear fealty to you. I do like that for intrigue.
Yes.
Yeah, it's also got clandestine business and repair reputation for strife. Great activity.
So let's not do wilderness.
Yeah, no, it's got a decent bonus already.
Let's do either statecraft.
And if
Or
we're reduced to gathering livestock, we can use
His
Ikudio's
Yeah.
hunting thing.
I thought you were going to say Ed. I'm like, that's rude.
I'm even kidding you. Ed, go find more friends.
We're gonna clone Ed.
We're going to clone Ed. All right.
Yeah.
Time,
It is
time.
still going to be our
If you have that high a magic level, you don't need to worry about feeding people.
So I'm thinking for our last two.
Yep.
My thinking is intrigue and statecraft. Just based off of, or intrigue and trade.
I'd rather go intrigue and trade.
I really love that pledge fealty. Oh, that's in.
It's under intrigue as well.
too. Okay.
You're thinking intrigue and trade?
That's what I'm
What do you
thinking.
think, Corey?
Yeah.
Or Keith?
Keith.
Because I mean, trade lets us collect taxes. Taxes, don't you?
Well, as our treasurer, yes.
No, he does. I'm the treasurer.
Oh, right, yes.
Collecting taxes gives us unrest.
But it also gives us the repair reputation for crime. It's
Yeah.
good to have the repair reputations. Just in case, because you never know what
In
the hell.
case we mess up.
Yeah.
You guys?
In
Never.
case we have a bad roll.
And then we already have art, so it can repair reputation corruption. Engineering gives us decay.
Yep.
Intrigue gives us strife. And then trade gives us crime. Yeah, I think that's our choices.
Intrigue and trade are your next ones?
I think so, yeah.
I'm just interested in fixing stuff.
You know how bad we roll.
All right. That puts intrigue up to a +3 and trade up to a +5.
But to fix it, you still got to make a roll.
That's true.
So you have some good numbers there. Okay. So your feet, so the favored land you have.
More choices?
Yeah, we get 4 choices. So we did agriculture.
No, he's saying feet. We
No,
did
no.
we did our picks here.
Yeah, you did your picks. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you picked agriculture. Oh crap.
Engineering.
Industry? No.
Engineering.
Engineering, that's what it was.
Intrigue
Agriculture,
and trade.
engineering, intrigue, and trade were your choices. Feats, you just have your feats.
We have.
Do we
AC.
start with settlement construction, or is that from something else?
You construct you basically start with settlement construction.
Okay.
That always is a feat, no matter what, because
Okay.
without it,
You can't build.
kind of
We pitch a tent. That's our capital.
Yeah, literally.
Actually, that's one of the options. So you can have like areas, you can have neighborhoods, and one of the options is like a tent city.
Oh,
It's horrible.
That's
You do not want to do it.
That's tenements. That's what we start with.
I
That's your
thought
basic building
I
at
thought
level
houses.
0.
I thought houses were.
No, you improve the tenements to houses.
like
Oh,
we have
okay.
to start with a tent because that's easy to pitch, and then we have to like cut down trees and make planks and things.
Yeah,
and
tenements
build
are
a house.
cheap.
Ever play a city builder? You're about to.
Yes.
Ask my wife. What are the 2 most common games I'm playing right now? Oh, they're both city builders.
Which ones?
Clanfolk
Okay, yep.
and Foundation.
Okay. There's a new one on Steam Fest that I was trying out. Something Pagoda? Kayla Pagoda or something.
Okay.
It's like a more fantasy based. Like the artwork's nice and stuff. It's very calming, but
I
I don't see a point to it.
I've also played. I also have Timberborn, which is where your beavers building a city after the fall of human civilization. The beavers take over.
Well, if you want a funny, goofy game,
Sounds reasonable to
Don't
me.
Die in the West.
Oh, Jesus.
It's interesting because there is actually combat and there exploration and building and stuff, but you're like a Weeble Wobble character with no legs.
Oh, okay.
They're very goofy looking.
Yep.
I enjoyed it, but it definitely has some bugs it needs to work out.
And you've decided that the nation's name is Osonia?
Works for me.
I think it's Osonia.
Osonia? Okay.
Whatever.
And
It's
your
not a
first
struggle.
Settlement will be
settlement is named?
Stag's End.
Perfect. I love that. I think that's great. We discussed that on there. I think it had several meanings to it. Stag's End being the end of the Stag Lord.
Yeah.
Also, he's also a Civ head. Yeah.
True story.
It also is the symbol of Aristal.
Yep.
Which actually is a very pronounced god in the region. It really is.
Yeah.
You find it a lot.
Between hunting and wilderness and community,
Exactly.
he works incredibly well for that. So.
All right.
All right, so we have our basics.
Which is kind of ironic. Our Magister's going to be preaching other things.
Yeah. That's okay.
He's just teaching magic.
If he gets too depressing, I'll replace him.
Couple people around, yeah.
So now for the roles, that's what I was trying to ask earlier. As treasurer, do I get a bonus when I'm doing economic, or is that just because we have someone in the treasurer?
Because you have someone in the role.
Okay.
Basically it works out as long as you have someone in the role, you do not get the penalty.
Okay.
There's no bonus to it unless the character, like the NPC, says they have activity that they can do and stuff. Otherwise, it is.
So basically, having us in these various roles doesn't really have any effect unless there's like an event that targets them.
Correct.
Like I believe assassination targets the ruler. Oh no, the warden. I believe assassination events target the warden.
Oof. You don't want that.
So then specifically, we would probably have an encounter, I would imagine, where we have to protect
Valerie.
No, Amiri. Amiri's our warden.
Right. Amir is our warden. Valerie's our
general. So yeah, it's okay. Because I was thinking that, me being the trader, I want to take economic actions, but no, that's not the case. So then, in a kingdom turn, each player gets 3 actions they can take?
Correct. Each PC leader in a role gets 2 actions.
2 actions.
If you have a town hall or castle, it becomes 3 actions.
Okay.
So basically, between the 4 of you, you currently have 8 actions that could be done. And eventually, when you have a town hall or a castle, you'd have 12 actions between the 4 of you to do. So it's not like you can only do one thing.
Right.
It's 2 per player. It's very specific. It's player one. It's player leader, not Lindsay and the rest of the NPCs.
Gotcha. That makes sense.
All right. So if we look at the fun thing is we have this wonderful flow chart. So the first thing you need to know is there is no stability check on your first turn because there's no point.
Yay. Nothing stabilized yet. We haven't
There
even
is
stuck
no
post
consumption in your first turn because you literally have nothing to consume
there's
at
no
this point.
We just arrived.
Control check made.
Correct. So there's no control check required. There's no consumption from the treasury. So the treasury will gain resources and stuff. If you cannot pay for your consumption, then it gives you unrest. All right, you have no negative attributes, so we don't have to worry about that.
Yay.
Okay, is unrest under 11? Yes.
Yay. We're winning so far.
So the urban grid border, sorry.
Yep.
It says that we can take river as a water border that provides natural defense.
Yeah, because where you like, I mean, most towns and build on or near a river because
You need the water source.
very important.
Yeah.
So yes, but like I said, your favorite train is going to be forest, not river, but you do have access to the river, which is kind of funny because when you look at it on the overall map, it's a pretty big river. Then you go to like the Thorn River Bandicap and it's like 10 feet wide. I'm like,
It's an ankle-deep creek.
that's not really a river. That's a creek. I mean, even Swift Currents is larger than that, and Swift Current is neither Swift nor Current.
Maybe
No.
that's on a
No, it
branch of it.
Sorry.
That's on a branch of
But could be.
Speaking of Swift Current, my company currently has a driver stranded there because they can't find anyone in Swift Current to work on it before Thursday.
Wow.
Yeah.
You want me to call some people?
If you know someone that can go out and run a scan on the truck, that'd be great. But yeah, no, I'm just like, really? Like Thursday?
They're probably busy. You
It's
got to
not
remember
even
one.
a big town. There's
it's
like
not-
2 garages.
Yeah, it's not a big place, and if they're already packed with other equipment, because guess where you are right now? You're in
season.
farming season. So
Yeah.
guess who gets priority?
Farmers.
All the farmers.
Oh yeah.
Some schmo from Calgary, he can fucking wait.
Fair enough. Just
Pretty
some of
much,
this.
yes.
I'm sorry, the Hutterites with the multi-million-dollar vehicles roll in and be like, "We need this fixed." Guess who's getting it?
All right. Step 1, assign leadership roles. Done. Step
Yes.
2, adjust unrest. Done.
Yep.
It's 0.
Yep.
First turn.
Step 3, resource collection.
Step 3, resource collection.
Do we chop down some trees and do some fishing?
Resource dice equal kingdom
Nope,
level
that's
plus 4 plus bonus dice
Correct.
minus penalty dice. We have no penalties.
And we do have
And
a
we get
bonus.
+1 for insider trading.
And then we
So-
get a kingdom level 1, so we get
We roll
5 dice.
6d4.
Correct.
Who wants to do the roll? Who wants to damn us for all the turn? I mean,
I'm sure you'll be fine.
This stuff? I'm confused.
so if you look at the kingdom flowchart,
Oh,
Sorry,
I had that
postage.
open, but
that's one way of doing it. It's also Keith is looking at in the resource book, Player's Guide, which is page 43.
I got 6d4 ready.
Now, one thing I'm going to do is I'm also going to be duplicating what we're doing here in the online spreadsheet that we have, just so you guys can see what's going on. The only difference, I think, is when it comes to rolling events and stuff, I think it's a little different. But give me 1 second.
I got 6d4 ready.
Oops, that's not.
Oh,
You might as well roll it, Keith.
Yep. I think you missed because the map's in the way.
yep, math was in the way.
Oh, what?
Hi.
To establish your village, you must first clear the hex to prepare it for your village. Since clear hex is a region activity that can only happen during step 2, and establish settlement is a leadership activity that can only happen in step 1, you have to wait until the kingdom turn after you clear the hex to actually found the settlement. We have to wait a month before we actually build our settlement.
Well, we gotta chop down the trees and Pick up the stumps.
So
And
we
Like
got to clear
rocks.
shit. Our first kingdom turn is chop some trees down and then
Mash
Well,
some
we can
next
boulders.
one.
yeah, we can also do other stuff like we can like do stuff outside the settlement. But yeah, our village doesn't actually get started this month.
We arrive, we pitch some tents, we cut down some trees and smash some boulders. Just like in Valheim.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Rock, stick, hammer, done.
So the important thing we have to keep in mind is as we build our village,
okay, let's see what's going on.
if we have more, you get blocks, neighborhood block. It's basically a square with 4 pieces. If you have more blocks than you have residential areas, you're overcrowded, which gives you. We have to remember that whenever we build,
Sounds backwards. Do you mean if we have more people than we have residential blocks?
no, because your blocks is how big of a town you have. As a village, you start with just 1 4-square block. And then when you go to a town, you get a second 4-square block. So if we have 2 4-square blocks, but only one housing in one of those squares,
Oh, so only one of the squares is used for houses.
then we would start to look at overcrowding and getting penalties.
Hang on. Did I miss that?
And we can
We'll need one eventually.
level 9.
Oh,
very
it's going to be a
eventually.
while.
upgrade from herbalist. So you build.
which we could do essentially round 2 because it's structure 1.
Oh, my bad.
Is something?
Ruh-roh.
We missed your 2 free boosts.
Oh,
You have 1 boost from your oligarchy.
we did do that.
Yeah, we got the free
we
boost.
did the 3 boosts.
Nope,
Yeah, we did.
We did the free boost from
Because we put
oligarchy
both of them into.
and the free boost from
we
the.
did both of them into our whatever the 4th.
Yeah, but
step
there
is.
is 2.
You did-
There was
you-
2
so
more. Two
from
two
oligarchy,
absolutely free boosts.
You get
Oh.
stability, which is a free boost. From your charter, you got a free boost, which you took stability. There's 2 more.
Oh.
They're open to anything.
Okay, well, one of them should go on loyalty.
Okay.
Yep.
Because that's our lowest stat.
And then. And then.
Culture is our next lowest. I don't think we can put them both into loyalty.
No.
So yeah, then culture, I guess.
Or we stick an extra in economy. I don't know. Still don't completely understand how these numbers affect what we can do.
It's basically your stats.
It's just your stat line.
Or your strength decks.
Well,
Yeah.
yes, but I know what those stats affect on what we can do. I don't understand totally what culture, economy, loyalty, and stability let us do with kingdom turns.
They affect the skills. That
They
we
They
can
affect your
use.
skills.
that you need to
It-
do on your piece.
It's like when you have your character and I tell you to make a medicine check. That's based on your wisdom.
Yes, but I know I'm using that medicine check to
Yeah.
do healing.
Right.
So if I'm using engineering, what am I using that to do?
To like establish a new settlement,
Yeah.
or build a work camp, that sort of thing.
Yeah, see, that's the stuff I don't know very well.
Okay. Yeah, well,
So it makes it difficult to choose which places I need to put bonuses when I don't understand exactly what that is going to affect.
All right. So
Do
then
it.
Keith and Owen, who do understand what it is, which would you like to have?
I don't think we need to boost economy any higher than it is. Stability really high would be nice, but there's also, I don't know. I think to keep a balanced approach, culture, but if we want to have a higher economy or stability, we could boost those. So stability.
Well, currently,
A lot of our stuff now is stability based. Right now.
Yes. I'd say throw it in. Yeah, because that would put us up to a 16 in culture or a 16 in economy or
No,
60
But
or
it's a 14 in culture,
14 in
16.
culture, sorry, 16 in stability. I mean,
16 in stability, or 16 in culture.
yeah.
Most of our actions that we want to take, that we're talking about taking, like
Okay,
initially,
give me 1 second here, because
culture is more of a
so that
long-term
is your
thing.
current stat line. Is 12, 14, 10, 14.
Yeah.
Without your 2 additional free boosts.
Yeah, I'd say
Okay.
throw at least
So
one into
Throw one
loyalty.
into loyalty. for
1 into
sure.
loyalty.
Yep.
Okay, boom.
And then I think do we think
Economy is also used for exploration, abandoned hex, claim hex, clear hex, and higher adventures. And also go fishing. Establish trading
You need to go
arrangements,
fish. Go
fishing,
fish.
and rest relax. Yeah. For boating.
Go get a fish.
Stability, yeah.
Do you crank something up to a 16 or do you bring something else up to a 14? That's your choices right now.
Culture also has things like creative solution and established settlement under scholarship.
with scholarship we only have a +2. I personally think stability might be the way to go. If we don't want to do more of a balance. I think having some bonuses early on to some of these things might be like some of the stability actions.
Yeah, we're getting high enough now that we can also think about later on.
Yeah, no, that's true too.
Because it could also be useful in culture.
But if we throw it into culture, because currently we pretty much have none of the culture-based skills trained.
Right.
Yeah,
So that would give us a
Additional plus.
an additional +1 in the untrained activities for those culture skills.
I think it might be a good idea to put in culture. Because we're getting our bonuses up high enough now that we should be able to get through the early stuff.
And we've gotten loyalty up as high as we can.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we're agreed to throw it in culture. So it won't be quite so uncultured. It's fine.
Yeah,
I mean, some of us still will be.
We have one culture-based skill trained.
Yeah, and that's
Everything else is stability.
right, because we got arts with
So if you
oligarchy.
add it into culture, you have a 14, 14, 12, 14 line.
That sounds like pretty decent for what
For a starting kingdom?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
We could build a masterpiece right out the gate.
we need to harvest the trees and rocks first.
What?
Like we have a tent. We got this masterpiece. It's a masterpiece tent. Wonderful.
I don't care. Look, Bob, I don't care that your tent's leaking. We need to get this statue of Oblar built first.
Yeah, exactly.
No, we send the
Could you
people out to
imagine?
clear.
Statue of the four of us.
We're
Thank you
clearing
very
the
much.
trees, and one of them turns into an amazing sculpture instead.
Yeah.
It's now a totem. It's
Some
like
chainsaw artist just by.
Yeah, literally.
See ya. Wow, that
oh,
was kinda
actually,
cool.
speaking of chainsaw stuff,
So we've got to clear a hex.
So that has to be one of our
What a stupid order of operations.
We can build a menagerie when we get to level 12.
so my sister's place in Swiftcurrent had a very, very old poplar tree. Because it was such a family thing, it had a swing on it. Everybody climbed it. It's like the front yard tree. When it died, she actually found some carvers and it carved into. It's supposed to be a standing dragon, but it was rotted too much, so they took it down and made it into a bench.
Oh, neat.
It's got feet. It's got a big long tail. She's gonna make a sunshade for it next year. It's very cool.
Oh, Gwen. Level 5, Sacred Grove.
Yes, I'll plant trees. And for starters, tree can help keep the rodent population down. Which is gonna do anyway.
Gonna be a little
And
busy.
can help keep down the grass. Ooh, round 2, we could build a tavern.
That's probably a good idea because it would be like the tavern eating area, plus it would have like the inn space above. So it's a great multifunctional building to start with.
But it's a tavern dive art.
Yes.
Well, it's not going to be your masterpiece tavern.
At level 3, we could upgrade it to Tavern Popular, and at level 9, Tavern Luxury.
Either way, you build a dive bar, your unrest goes down by 1.
Ooh. and then
Build 4, unrest goes up by 1.
All right, so
level 15
So
Tavern.
our first
World
building
Class.
in our town is a dive bar. That's awesome.
I mean, that fucking makes sense.
It's complete and utter sense.
All right, so every kingdom needs
Oblar's
leaders.
fucking
You guys have chosen your leaders. Now,
an Oblar's tendon bar.
Yeah.
your invested leadership skill.
It's
Each
also
of you
town
gets
hall.
to pick a skill
Town Hall's level 2.
off the list of skills,
Oh, which gives us a bonus.
which
to the...
gives you a bonus to the skills.
Oh,
Oh, okay.
what page is that one on?
What?
So each of us picks a skill that becomes invested, and it gives us a what to it? Plus one?
It gives you a. So each of the 4 leaders choose to apply the trained proficiency rank to a different kingdom. Oh, it's the
That's what we
four
did.
you chose. Okay,
Yeah, we picked
right.
the
So we
4.
picked agriculture.
Yep.
We
Engineering,
picked engineering,
intrigue and trade.
intrigue,
Trade.
and trade. Okay, perfect. Boom. All right. Gonna try to make sure that the Google Sheet lines up with what we have here. So. Okay, so agriculture
would like
plus
his first
5,
action to
arts
be
5,
Tap Treasury.
We don't have one yet.
voting.
Apparently we do.
Well, it's his own purse then. You can tap that treasury all you like.
See, that's the
Good
other
luck
one
with that.
is involve the players, like allow the adventurers to throw some gold at the kingdom and turn it into resource point. A resource point for every 100 gold or something like that.
Well, that would make sense. We've probably collected a decent amount, and that's what we're going to be using it for.
Considering we are in direct control of the kingdom as an oligarchy. Our
We're
own
going to chuck
money.
all our money into building the dive bar.
Exactly.
Well, you know,
What's
as
the name of
it's
the
a
dive bar?
first building, it would work because it's somewhere to eat, somewhere to sleep, and somewhere to do business.
Exactly. Well, its name will be Town Hall.
I don't think it's. Well, the Town Hall is a level 2 action.
Then-
Level
but-
2 structure.
And the name of the town hall will be Dive Bar.
I don't think a tavern is actually. There's no establishment there that's an inn. So it's rough and tumble establishment for the entertainment, eating, and drinking.
Is
Okay, that's good. Eat entertainment.
No, we
eating,
see
and
a
drinking.
second level on it that has.
Well, then we'd have to build
Rooms.
an inn as a separate.
That's a different building?
It's a different building.
Boo! They're always the same.
An inn provides a safe and secure place for settlements visitors to rest. So, I mean, it still takes up a block on our a piece of the block. But I mean, there's no reason we can't say that it's on the second level. Ever.
Well, right now
For
we don't
But
have
that's
any
always what
lumber.
it is. There's always the tap room in the
So
inn.
Well, we haven't cleared the hex yet, so we can't do any of
Yeah,
this
we gotta
shit.
cut down the trees and drop the rocks first.
But I believe
Well, with our hoe and level the ground.
in addition to clearing hex, which is the one action, we can also establish work sites. So we could establish.
yes, that's the region activity is one thing.
Right.
You can do 2 in our chosen place, forest, and both of them are rolled at a -2.
Yeah, so we could build 2 work sites in one hex in the forest.
We're gonna need at least one for sure.
And I assume you guys are going for fame, not infamy.
Yes.
Yes.
We
Yeah,
have Lindsay as our herald.
Well, we want to keep our friends happy.
Yes. But
Yeah.
that's part of her role, and that's what she
But
was
we
doing
also-
already.
We also have to do the region activity of clear hex.
Yes.
So we can do 2 at -2 or just 1.
Okay.
Oh yeah, civic activity, build structure. is there actually a list of structures we can build?
Yes, there is.
There is.
That would explain why this book has so many pages.
Oh yes, yeah.
Yeah,
the
Actually, literally what I was looking at, that's why I was reading.
Owen is on that page now, aren't you?
yeah, it is.
That's why I'm looking, because
I'm
one
at
of
the
my
tournaments.
personal things was I wanted to have a tavern.
Well,
So I was-
like most of the player guides for any of the adventure paths are about 12 pages. This one's 87.
Because there's just so
Be-
many things.
Well, it's because it includes all the kingdom stuff. Oh, look at you roll 12. Okay.
Activity phase, yeah. They all said roll it, so I rolled it. Didn't roll very well. I got a 1, 3, 1, 4, 2, 1. What a potential. I got 50% of our possible.
Pretty good. Considering how we usually roll, that's pretty good.
Okay, hang on. I think I see what you're doing here.
We could build the waterfront in our settlement onto that little tiny creek.
Okay, so we can each do 2 leadership activities during the activity phase.
Effectively, we have 8. We don't have to split it up so that each of us gets 2. We could pick pages that.
44. That's why I thought I'd leave you on the structures and I'd look at this so that we don't have
Well,
rolling about to
we
go.
can't build structures right now anyway, so because we need to do the damage.
Okay, there we go. So I added
Yeah.
on the when you go to the turn.
If you stay on that, I will go to the
This here.
The big list.
Oh,
did that. Are we collecting taxes? Is that an automatic step?
I don't
no,
think we
that's
have
something you
anybody
have to
to
do.
tax at the moment. It's just us. Okay, everybody empty your pockets.
Shake Oblar, other things fall out. Like, oh, I didn't know I had that. So on when you guys click on your next turn tab, so the arrow under nation, it brings up that sheet. So this shows you the commerce activities, the leadership activities, regional, civic events are something we roll for differently.
So the commodities, is that for pay for this turn or next turn? Like, do we have to be looking ahead?
You always should be looking ahead. So when you roll your resource, it's for this. You have 14 resource points.
Okay.
And so I found that, yes, like Fantasy Grounds always has, you grab however many dice you need, you drop it in there. If you double click
yeah.
on that box, please don't. It will roll.
So next time we could double click on the box.
Correct.
Oh, where did we get the extra 2 from?
Started with that.
Because I rolled.
Oh,
So
I'll take it.
yeah, I was gonna say.
Not gonna complain.
Yeah.
Is that what we got out of our pockets? 2 points.
So we're not.
I mean, it's above average.
We're not collecting taxes,
That's one activity you could do if you wish.
right? But do we need to?
We don't need to incur
Yeah, no, I don't think it's a good idea.
immediately.
Off
No.
the start.
And so taxes, what gives you more resource points?
So beside each bar, so it says collect taxes.
Yeah.
You'll see the little arrow that shoots off. If you click that, it brings up the actual information. So it shows tax collectors travel through the lands to collect funds for the kingdom. Attempt a basic check. And then you would roll your dice up in the top corner, and it would tell you what your numbers are.
Oh, okay, I got it. So it gives you +2 bonus to +1 or +2 circumstance bonus to economy-based checks for the remainder of the turn. Okay.
Correct.
The crit, they're wildly successful.
So
Yeah.
So commerce is the stage we're at currently?
No, you can do any one of these
Okay.
ones you wish to use.
Because it just says commerce actions down below.
Yes, look at the tabs on the side.
How come everything's listed?
Oh. Okay.
Tabs, guys. Everything is tabs. So commerce, then leadership. As I slowly change over to leadership.
Yeah.
Those are all your leadership actions.
Oh my.
You have regional
Yeah, there's
actions.
4 steps to. and then we move into the leadership activities phase.
Correct.
Okay. So the commerce phase is the first stage.
Correct.
And
We don't have any commodities. We're not doing new leadership. We're not managing trade agreements. We don't have any trade agreements.
we can't do capital investment because we don't have a bank.
Okay. But don't think we're doing anything in the commerce phase.
I don't think we have any commodities to trade yet, or any
Yeah.
trade agreements to leverage.
Hey, wait a second. Is it a leadership activity?
Yeah, leadership activity is the next.
Oops, what was that?
So Oleg is
What's our
technically in the Kingdom of Brevoy.
No,
What's our control?
he's in action in the Rosslands. You assign your leadership, you claim or abandon your hex, which you claimed your hex. Build terrain improvements. Create or improve settlements would be the next step. Manage military, issue edicts, and then you go to your income phase.
So
leadership act-
we need to clear the hex before we can claim it, though.
I believe this hex is already considered clear. Double check here.
I want to do clandestine business.
Where's she do?
With whom?
What's our control DC?
And how are you going to do that clandestine? Behind a tree?
He's gonna.
On our-
He's going to talk with squirrels.
He's gonna set up a
Squeak,
protection
squeak, or squeak,
racket
squeak.
with the squirrels.
I'm gonna go shake down
Be really-
at the temple.
Be a real shame if your tree was to burn down mysteriously.
I don't say it to you, but I'm gonna go shake down dude at the temple.
No.
You eventually want to claim that hex, so we need him.
Yes, need him cowed and subdued. And
No, he's
subordinate.
already our friend.
Just kidding.
Let's declare it a holiday.
It's
Tuesday.
it just says it's a roll against the control DC. It doesn't have the control DC here. That's all.
Actually, that is probably something Lindsay would record in her book. The day we founded our new kingdom.
Yeah.
Because it will be a holiday after that. There we go. We have our first holiday. Founders Day.
Jesus.
You're damn right.
Yeah.
As every oligarchy should, you celebrate the leaders.
We celebrate the day our kingdom was founded. So we wait for this time. It's going to be write it down in
It's
the
like-
book, and we'll remember to celebrate it next year.
Hooray, we have a kingdom. The 7 of us sitting around our campfire. 8, knock knock. 9, Ikandayo.
Plus the handful of people that have come
So
out with us.
We're
for
eating what
some
he
time.
hunted for dinner.
So, as much as we laugh, celebrating a holiday might be useful. You get a +1 or +2 bonus to your loyalty-based checks until the end of your next turn.
Sure.
I guess.
There we go. Base DC is 14.
Square's already.
Yeah, I'm just adding all the stuff in here. Size is 0. I just got to double check if I got that right or not. Yeah, your size is considered 0, right? Okay, so yes, so your control DC is base is 14.
And none of our guys are vacant, so
Correct.
this is -1 for, or
Wanna make
one,
sure.
+1 for every one that's vacant.
Okay, perfect.
Not bad.
I love that. Attempt a basic check, but if your nation celebrated a holiday on the previous turn, the DC increases by 4 as your nation hasn't had a chance to recover from the previous gala.
Yeah.
This ain't no gala. This is like moonshine.
Like what was it Gladiator, where they had like 30 days of games and stuff to celebrate
Does celebrating a holiday reduce unrest?
Really, you jumped off there just to go bite your brother?
Pretty much.
Fucking rude.
Yes, he is.
Give me 1 second. Pull up.
Yo, R2 was sleeping so nice.
Celebrate holiday.
No. Not
Oh,
reduce
baby.
unrest.
Oh, baby.
Okay.
R2E.
Find something to do that reduces unrest. I'm about to increase it.
What are you doing? Are you going to do a clandestine business to do what?
Get 2 more resource points. Or
Again.
two more dice of resource
The
points.
question is, where are you doing this? Behind a large tree?
I told you, he's talking to squirrels.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't say I can't do it.
Squeak, squeak, squeaker, squeak, squeak.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't say I can't do it.
I mean, I'm currently looking at recruiting army.
You didn't feast?
Okay, let me check out what's wanted.
Yeah.
I need
1 unrest.
Press
Everything gains unrest.
So if you critically fail the recruit army task, basically you try to press gang people are like fuck you, and then they become unrest. Gain unrest.
Yep.
Deliberate plan?
I mean, eventually you guys will have anarchy. I have full confidence.
I
in
do
you.
too.
If we roll badly enough, yeah, we probably will.
All right, so during the leadership
Fuck
phase, is there
off.
anything we want to do? You wanted to do your. The question is, do we need the extra resource points?
No. I don't know.
We don't think we
Okay.
do. Or because this is our first term, will you allow us to like retroactively go back and do things?
Yeah. Just don't click on any of the skills and
Don't
stuff
actually
because that
roll
might
until we.
screw things up. Okay, so somewhere in the Heartland Hex lies the kingdom's first village, the capital. Rules for founding settlements begin on page 542, but the players can skip step 1 and 2 of that process when founding this village. Since it is the first village, PC gains 40 Kingdom XP as a milestone award, recorded along with your character's name, yada, yada, yada. So I need to pop... So basically, we got the
don't have
modifiers.
to claim or
favorite-
clear hex, or
Correct. Step 1 and 2 you do not have to do,
Okay.
because this is basically your first settlement. If you try to move and create a settlement somewhere else,
Then we do
you
it.
have to do
Okay.
the clear and claim.
clear established settlement.
Correct. So you guys skip steps 1 and 2, and you're going directly to step 3.
But that is still a region activity, established settlement.
Correct.
So it comes after our leadership activities.
So we could build structures. Have our tavern. We probably want to build some houses too.
Yep.
Where's
Hey!
build structures?
No fighting.
It's an engineering.
No.
No, but I mean, civic
here.
activity.
It's on my
Okay.
desk.
So
Okay, so we can roll to establish our settlement first. Though.
we already did. We established our settlement. We cleared the hex. We claimed the hex and we cleared the hex for free. So then, establishing our settlement, we're automatically doing it.
No, it is a skill check still. Yes, it's an activity.
Oh,
So and it's Pathfinder, so every activity's got
but
a
it's
skill check.
way late, so I'm thinking they must be skipping that too. Founding a village. Select a hex. Establish. Second is establish your village.
Yeah. You
So-
must first clear a hex.
But you guys already are going
We already
past those.
Claimed it,
Correct.
and then clear the hex, which.
But
Yeah, you guys. So step 8 in creating this kingdom. Step 6 is record all the details. Step 7, choose your leadership. Step 8 is your first village. So basically, you guys get to do that and ignore steps 1 and 2. Since this is your first village, you gain the 40 XP for it. If the PC site have chosen as established has any established structures, the hex resources in Chapter 2, place them in blocks on the PC's choice, which you do not have currently. So the bandit camp is not considered a structure of anything. It was literally a couple towers.
Yeah.
Well, they had a couple little guard towers, like arrow towers, but nothing. No, definitely not.
So we move right from we don't have to claim or clear the hex.
Or establish it. That's all done.
Oh, okay. We don't have the role to establish the settlement either.
No. This one's given to you. Otherwise that'd be fucking horrendously bad if you guys rolled.
But it's still the region activity, so we still have to. We can do our leadership activities if we want.
Yeah.
I don't really see anything right now.
Not
In need of
anything
doing.
in the leadership.
In need of doing anyway.
Other than recruit army, because the longer your army is around, the more experience it gets.
Yeah, so basically you're going to start with a settlement, and then at level 3 it can expand into a village and or town. 9th level you can expand the town into a city. 15th level you can expand it into a metropolis.
Get your
Process
your
hidden fees.
kingdom to 3rd level before it becomes a town.
Correct. Yeah, so it's just a settlement to start, and that makes extreme sense.
A village.
You do not wish to
A
prognosticate?
village.
I'm good.
Provide care, purchase commodity. Rest. Read all about it.
I say
At what point do we roll for events, Corey? Is that after we do all our actions?
I'm just going over all the.
Fair enough. Sorry. We will build.
Oh my goodness.
so. I'm guessing our region activities is going to be limited to establishing a settlement
Oh, spread the
because we're
legend.
getting it automatically. So
But
a second region activity in the forest, sure.
are you
but
limited to how many actions you can take in each phase?
you can only take one region activity. Or
Oh, okay. But whether that's already counted or not is the question. But and you can only take. Is it limited to how many civic activities you can take?
region activity. Sorry. The PC leaders may now collectively attempt up to 3 region activities. Players decide who rolls any skill checks needed to resolve these activities.
Correct.
One civic activity for each of the settlements.
Yeah, one civic activity for each of the kingdom settlements after that.
So,
All right, so you have your settlement. So the first thing that we do is we look at the commencement, the commerce phase step 1, collect taxes. You decide not to do that, or are you doing it?
I don't think we need to.
Okay. Phase 2 is approve expenses. So you can improve lifestyle or tap the treasury. Do you wish to do that?
I don't think we need to tap the treasury. We don't have much of a treasury.
Okay.
Improve lifestyle.
And I think improve lifestyle. Do we need to do that? Let me just put lifestyle. It gives you +2 bonus to culture-based checks.
Planning on doing any culture-based check this time?
Well, what's work party is? No, I don't think we're planning on building culture-based checks, so we need to.
No.
Okay. So you're not going to tap the treasury. You're not going to do any of that stuff. Perfect. All right. Next. After that
Trade.
is tap commodities. So you can do any trade commodities.
We don't have any trade commodities. So
All right. Manage trade agreements. You have no trade agreements to manage currently either.
So my understanding is after this session, we'll do all this behind the scenes rather than on the.
Correct. Yeah, we might do some milestone ones on here.
If we have something significant.
Correct.
I need to go use the bathroom. Wanna 3 o'clock? Maybe take a break.
There is that.
Oh, there we
That'd
go.
be handy.
Okay. So I think what we'll do is we'll take a quick break and then we'll come back to finishing off this turn. 1 moment, please. All right, and we're back. Now we're trying to figure out what's going on with my my Fantasy Grounds thing. But anyway,
Yeah, 'cause read all about it in Recruit Army Simple, Recruit Army Specialized, or only on there once.
So
Very strange.
we're gonna kind of back up everything into the activities section. As you guys have established your settlement, and you guys get to basically start from as if you had, the turn is fresh. So the first thing we do is assign leadership roles. You've done that. That's an upkeep phase, and you can change them around every month, but it does take a roll for it. People do not like.
No, that's
change.
if you do it mid.
If you do it, sorry,
Midstream. Kingdom turn or whatever you can't change it midstream, but you can change them every month. No problem.
Correct.
But the skills don't change. Skills stay where they are.
So the second, so commerce itself, so this tab you're seeing right now is its own phase. So each tab is kind of a phase. So you go step by step by step all the way down. The first phase of this is to collect taxes. Now you guys have decided not to collect taxes, which is absolutely fine. So phase 2 is to approve expenses. So you can improve lifestyle or tap the treasury.
I don't.
One second.
I don't think we need to do either of those.
No. They just give improved lifestyle gives a bonus on culture checks. Not doing any culture checks right now. And tap treasury is
Personal use or emergency funding for an event.
Oh.
The one thing I would love in this PDF is if you could just click on things. That would make my life so much easier.
Yeah, I don't think we need to do either of those.
No.
All right. The next step is to tap commodities. So you can get your trade commodities, which is on page 525.
$25?
Yeah, 525. Okay, second. There we go. Perfect. All right. So there are 5 different categories of commodities: food, lumber, luxury, ore, and stone. When you trade commodities, select one commodity that your kingdom currently stockpiles and reduce its stockpile by up to 4. Then attempt a basic check. If you trade with that with a group that you've established diplomatic relations with, you gain a +1 bonus. So we're not going to do that either because right now you have no.
We have no commodities.
So we can't trade with anything because we don't have anything to trade with.
Correct. All right. So we're not going to do that. Then the next step, and this is what Keith and I were discussing during the break, manage trade agreements. So as odd as it sounds, you are not really managing trade agreements. You are trying to create trade agreements, which I think would be a much better wording for it. So basically, you send out agents, which would kind of be like Lindsay, or your other folks.
Our emissary.
Your emissary might be a little
knock,
little
knock.
man. Knock knock goes out.
No, not knock knock. He
I
needs
want
a
to
leash.
not going to be so great. Anyway,
We make the roll. He doesn't.
yeah, but it might have a little.
There
Anyway,
might be a penalty to that circumstance.
so you send out on agents an attempt to establish trade agreements. You spend 2 resource points per trade agreement you wish to manage. Then you attempt a basic check. If you manage trade agreements on the previous turn, you increase the DC by 5. And what they mean by the previous turn is the kingdom turn. So let's say, like Keith and I discussed, you want to send a agent to Oleg, and you want to send one to Restov. You could do that. You have to spend 4 of your 14 resource points and make a check.
But the thing of it is we can use 2 things and roll once.
Correct. So it would just be 1 check, but it's also all or nothing. You could roll really well, or you could roll really crappy, and your envoys come back from both people having issues.
Yes, but the worst result, metagaming it here, because this whole thing is metagamed anyway. The worst result is a critical failure. You gain no benefit as your traders and merchants met with bad luck on the road. You can't manage trade agreements for 1 kingdom turn. So next kingdom turn, we don't manage trade agreements.
Correct.
Might as well.
I think
So we
spend a couple.
we sending one to Oleg's and one to the potion guy.
We could do that.
You could.
Those are the only 2 I can think of that are near enough to do this.
Yeah, we can send one to Oleg and one to the village across the river.
There's
there's a
what's the name of it?
That's the border crossing, basically.
Yes, there was. You came out of Restov. You hit the border. You hit that little tiny town. Keith and Owen actually helped in the bar for the evening.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
You gained some valuable intel, some rumors and stuff. So yes, you can absolutely send it to there, and you can pretty much because you are under a grant. I would also give you a bonus if you're trying to do it with Restov as well.
Well, that is considered part of Rostov.
No, Restov is the city.
Oh, Rostov's
Restov's the city. Brevoy is the
Brevoy, Rossland, Isia or something like that.
Something like,
Those
yeah.
are the 2 parts of
Correct.
Brevoy.
Yeah. So Brevoy is over here.
Okay.
Rostov is right in the bottom. The little crossroads land was right there, and then you moved into the Rossland hinterlands is what it's called.
Yeah.
And that's where Oleg's tavern is, or Oleg's trade post is as well.
Yeah.
So yes, so you have.
So we could manage trade agreements. We can send off to. We don't really need to say where, but as an example, one to that village and one to Oleg, and if we're successful, we get extra resource points.
I just want to go for it then.
Extra resource points permanently or just
next turn.
Next
just
turn.
for the next turn? Okay.
The worst that can happen is we don't get to manage trade agreements on our next kingdom turn.
It's so yeah, a critical success at the start of your next kingdom turn, you would gain a bonus resource die for the per trade agreement. So if you had 2 trade agreements, you would get 2 extra die, and 1 commodity of your choice per trade agreement. No more than half of these commodities can be luxury. So you could be like, so next turn we're going to grab food and lumber as an idea. If you had
bonus
2
commodity, that's what a critical success will get.
Or like food and ore, because we've got lots of wood in the area.
So let's reduce our commodity resource points by 4, and go for 2 trade agreements. I say, unless, and that'll still leave us with 10 resource points to build some initial structure.
Okay.
Do we know how much it takes for resource points to build something?
The stuff at level 1 is at most, I think, 2.
Okay.
And if they require lumber, we can't do it anyway. If they require commodities, we don't have any. So anything that we build can only require resource points.
Correct. All right. So if you'd like to spend the 4 points, you can go ahead.
Might as well try it.
Sure.
Shall I make the roll?
Yeah, go for it.
Oh, nice.
Critical success.
Okay, so we can't build tenements.
So we can't build anything because it requires lumber.
So we need
Except
to
that-
establish a work site for lumber.
Yeah, we can, and then that gives us.
We're sleeping in tents for a little bit longer.
All right. Which is, like I said, you got to start small, right?
Yep.
Um,
We've spent all this time camping and moving around in tents. We're
right.
probably quite good at
so you
it. by now.
critically succeed. So at the start of your next kingdom turn, you gain 1 bonus resource per trade agreement, which will be 2, and 2 commodities of your choice per trade agreement. No more than half of these can be luxuries.
Which will be lumber. I think. We can only store 4 commodities of any type. So 4 of each
So
type.
this is one of the ways we're getting those commodities we need.
Presently, we can only store until we build like a granary and a lumber warehouse and stuff like that.
So one of them should definitely be food then.
Yeah, we could do 1 food, 1 lumber.
Well, I think when we
We could do
establish
2
work
food.
sites, I'm just looking to. I think when you establish work sites, you get that commodity that route.
Oh,
I'm just double checking that. Trying to find.
Oh, you're so at the start of your next kingdom turn. No, it's definitely at the start of
so
your
we're
next
done.
kingdom turn.
We're done the commerce.
Sorry,
So-
is that what you were asking? Is when do you get the resource?
Yeah, for the established.
For
that's-
managing, but I'm
On your
wondering-
next turn.
I'm
Yep.
wondering if work site, okay, generates commodities for each kingdom once
Oh.
you establish it via established work site.
Correct.
So we establish work site. This time we get the resource next time.
Oh, that's
Okay, well, hang on.
a
Let's
region.
we're gonna go step by step.
Well, we're trying to figure out which resource we want to get for our second one, because food for sure.
There's also ways to get food other ways. You get that right away. But I might be wrong.
So that's the question.
Well, one of your leadership activities would be from Ekondio, which is the
Hunting one.
hunting one, yes. Which I don't know why these are all duplicated, but it is
Supplementary hunting
that's
is
the one.
under region.
So it's a regional thing you can do. Okay.
Do we pass the upkeep phase?
So we are now past the commerce phase. We're
But-
now in the activity phase
Okay, but
of the leadership.
where does the upkeep happen?
That's the commerce.
Okay,
So
so yes,
so an upkeep phase is the assigning the leaders.
I get you.
And now you're into the commerce phase, and you've finished the commerce phase, and now you're into the leadership phase.
So
And this is where each of you can do 2 things.
I'm just clarifying.
Yep.
We get the commodities in the upkeep phase. So, yes, it is too late for us to get lumber this round or food this round, which we
Correct.
don't need food right now, anyways. But next round, if we establish work sites, then we'll get lumber. At
Yeah.
the
So if we use
Correct. Everything you do,
we establish work site this time, we'll get
We collected at
commodities
the
from it
beginning
next
of
time.
our next
Gotcha.
kingdom
correct.
turn.
Yes. Yeah. So you start this month, and at the beginning of next turn, which is a full month away, is when everything starts to roll in.
So everybody had to show up at our camp with at least a month's worth of food
Yep.
and supplies to sustain themselves until we can get shit going.
As
Correct.
would be reasonable.
Yes.
They
Which-
expected
which is
settlers
all-
to pack a year's worth of supplies.
Yeah. Which
A
is all
ton of
considered
food.
part and parcel of starting it. So the first phase, you don't pay upkeep, right? You don't have to pay
Because we brought that stuff with us.
because you brought it with you. It's just considered part of the beginning. So that's already done because there was 0 commodities because you had no
So
because it was given to you as part of the part and parcel of starting
the
the
forest
land.
work site is going to be
The only thing we needed to use is stuff we had already had in our bag.
Correct.
forest
Yeah.
work
Yeah.
site.
Yeah, you
would be
had your little wagon train heading west
Beat
Yep.
total.
out of Rostov. You maybe
We have
picked
our
up a couple
14,
people
which
in
we've
the
already spent.
in the
Over down
little
to 10.
The
migrant
village,
town or
yeah.
whatever, the village. Maybe you grabbed a
So I
couple of the
got 2
guys
more
out
to
of
spend.
Oleg's,
Wanted to do
the thieves that you'd
established
turn
from
to your-
farmland, for instance.
to your cause
Mm.
that Valerie's been working with, and they all come down with you and they all start helping to set up the settlement.
So it's more than just like 8 or 9 of us. It's a few more.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
we got a little tent place going on.
yeah, you got a little tent city. Yeah, like a little a base camp, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's just how it would work, right? So everyone pitches a tent and stuff, and that's where they're gonna live until you guys can get some settlements, or not settlements, buildings in for where they can stay and stuff.
Right.
And this is the weird choices. So like Owen said, you could start with we're going to build an edifice right now to me. Everyone's like, okay, kind of fucking weird, but all right. And your unrest goes up because they don't have a place to sleep.
So
but I got a nice
Owen-
picture of Oleg holding Solomon's wiener
Going
in his
here.
hand. I mean, it's like
It'd be the other way
sausage.
around.
I mean,
So we get 3
No, it's
region
a
thing?
stag. The thing
so
carved is
the
a stag.
leadership activity. So we're going to just roll back. Leadership activity is the next step.
2 forest work sites.
So you got two
Just
two per
giving leadership
person.
on purpose.
And this is the capital investment, celebrate a holiday, clandestine business, decadent feasts, et cetera, et cetera.
Oh, so that actions is specifically leadership action.
Correct. And this is where you get the 2 per PC. So you have 8 of those actions. That's the next thing you do.
Oh, okay.
After
It's at the top.
that,
2 actions per PC later, 3 with
Yes.
Town Hall or Castle.
after that is when you go into your region activities.
And we get
So like I said, I want to step back and make sure we're doing this step by step properly. So the first thing you want to look at is your leadership activities. So you have capital investment, which you cannot do because you need a bank. Celebrate a holiday. You could do.
The best we
Because-
can do with that is write it down in a book and then have a few extra drinks around the fire. There you go,
Well, I
celebrate it.
mean, Lindsay's there, so
But
she can definitely help out with that.
It's not just them. It's also a group of settlers that came with us.
Correct. Yeah. Like I said, you got to Restov, and people are like, I'm going to go with them because remember, Restov is giving you people,
Yes.
right? So you got like I said, the wagon train heading west.
Yes.
So you got people from Restov. You stop at that little village that was on the border. You pick up some more people there. You roll past Oleg's. You pick up a couple of the bandits that have turned over a new leaf, and they come down with you. So it's not like I said, it's not like the 9 people of your
It's
group.
not our little adventuring company
We're
anymore.
talking. You're looking at probably 30 to 100 people are sitting in this site already. So you could celebrate the holiday of we've just
We've
founding
arrived.
day,
We
whatever
stuck
they
a
call
shovel
it.
in the
That's-
ground.
that's-
Dang it.
And that's what I suggest we do. I
And,
suggest we celebrate the holiday.
Yep.
Because then it gives us a +2 on loyalty-based checks until the end of our next turn. So it's from now until the end of next turn.
Correct.
that's only on a critical success.
Fair enough.
You can craft luxuries. So you can have that statue of Oblar holding Solomon's wiener.
If we're going to craft a statue, it should be a stag.
No, even a regular success is +1 until the end of your turn.
And finish the paragraph.
Immediately roll 1 resource die. So this could eat up a lot of our resources.
Up to 4.
But that would give us a +2 on recruit army.
But what do we need to do the other stuff we want to do?
The
we're
other stuff we
using-
want to do
we're
is all in
using-
the other phases.
But we have to make sure we have enough resources to do it.
Recruiting an army doesn't cost you.
No, but we need to build work sites, right? What does that cost?
Okay, that's yeah, I agree. It's an idea, and I guess if you recruit an army, unless you critically fail it, we just can't recruit an army until next turn, and we get.
I'm not talking about recruiting an army.
I'm talking about. That's where Celebrate Holiday would come in because +2 on that.
But Celebrate Holiday uses resources.
Yeah, get that.
So if we're going to build buildings or build a work site, do those use resources that will be pulling out of the
We
same
can't build
pool?
buildings. We have no lumber reserve.
No lumber commodities.
We have no commodities. So that one's off the table. That's not happening this
Work
week.
site.
But the work
That's
site,
the thing we need to do.
Agreed.
Work site. What does
That's-
that take?
Okay.
So so it says, they have it written poorly, but you hire a crew of workers to travel to a hex that contains lumber, ore, or stone to be harvested. Spend resource points as determined by the hex's most inhospitable terrain. Plains, hills, forest would be 4. Then attempt a basic check. Lumber camps can be established in any hex that contains a significant amount of forest terrain. Mines and quarries can be established in, and apparently they don't have any more room on here. Oh no, there we go.
The scrolls.
In any hex that contains significant amount of hill or mountain terrain. So you know where that one is anyway.
Mhm.
So if you critically succeed, you establish a work site in the hex and proceed to discover an unexpectedly rich supply of high quality commodities. All commodity yields granted by this site are doubled until the end of the next kingdom term, which is really cool.
Mm-hmm.
But it costs us 4 resource points to, you're right, to put out a work site.
Yes.
So if we decide we want to do 2 forest work sites, because we can do 2 forests in 1 turn with 1 roll, that would cost us 8. The celebration maybe not invested.
I like the idea, but we need to make sure we have enough
I
resources.
don't think
Anything
we
you
need
wanna do?
a mine right away.
I don't.
All the
yeah.
first level stuff is just lumber.
Even though that mine is because there's already a resource there that we know of, i.e. the gold.
And we go
That
for
one,
we
that
get.
one work site, if we get a greater success, still gives us 2 ore.
Yes, but we can only store 4.
Yeah.
And we
Currently,
don't need lumber right now.
We don't need
ore.
ore right now.
Ore right now.
We
Ore.
do need lumber
I mean,
right
we-
now.
Yeah,
We need
Yeah.
lumber right now. We don't need ore right now.
yeah, we got you. We
Yeah.
got what you're saying.
Okay, so if we try to do 2 forest, what is the penalty? -2?
Yes, it's -2, and you spend double the RP.
No, we'll be spending 8.
So we'd be spending 8 points for each.
No, eight total.
Well, yeah, 8 total.
Yeah.
4 for each camp.
Yeah,
Which
sorry.
is what I just said.
Yeah. You said 8 each, but you meant 8 total.
Said 8 points for each. And if we try to do 2 at once, you said there's a -2 penalty to the check?
Yes.
Yes.
But the only thing that allows us to do 2 at once is the fact that our homeland is.
Is 4.
But
Our,
on a success, each of those is providing us with 1 lumber.
Which we're going to need lots of lumber to start building things.
That's what I'm thinking. Try for the double.
Yeah.
That gives us. Or we can do them separately, and it just takes us extra. Oh no, it doesn't, because that doesn't use actions. Anyways, how many region actions we get?
we get 3. You get 3 regional actions. Regional
Also looking
activities.
at established farmland.
Really good.
So we could do 1 regional activity, establish worksite, forest, lumber.
Right.
2, second region activity, establish worksite, lumber.
Right. So that could be 2.
Third one, establish farmland.
Yeah, I'm thinking farmland should be.
And we can do that in the plains.
And that. So establish a work site lumber camp is 4 RP.
Yep.
Yes.
Oh, because it's in 4.
Yeah, it's the hardest terrain.
Yeah, plains is 1, hills is 2, forest is 4.
And then we just go down a little south here and establish farmland here.
Yeah.
And that'll be I think that's plains.
So
If it's hills, it's
yeah,
2.
Corey, the shaky bridge hex
The one just to the
is that
south.
plains
Or hills.
or hills predominantly.
Hold up. The shaky bridge hex is there. That is going to be plains, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, good.
So it's only one resource point.
Yep.
So that would leave us with 1 resource point left over.
Okay, but going back to leadership, I do want to try to recruit an army.
We're not enough. I honestly don't see the need for an army, and if
Is
you
the
wanted to
spin-off-
recruit an army right away, we should have taken training in warfare.
is the reason why. Well, you can try multiple times, unless you
Yes.
fuck it up, unless you
But-
critically fail. But here's the thing: the longer your army is around, the more powerful it gets. So establishing an army first round, it's going to be more powerful than if we
Okay, and what kind of upkeep do armies have?
1 food.
And how much does our village need?
1 food. You've already got a trade agreement for 1 food. Were we successful
We
in that
did-
roll?
Oh,
yes.
I critted.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we've got at least 1 food coming in from that, right? If not 2 food. The farmland will give us another food.
It's 1 RP and 1 commodity. So a dice of RP and a commodity.
Okay.
And then, so we're at 2 dice of resource points and 2 commodities.
Of your choice. And only half of that can be in luxury goods if you wish. So you could have one of the 2
I'd
could
go
be
with-
luxury.
I'd make them both food personally.
That is absolutely your
'Cause you're-
choice for next.
Your commodities, do they carry over round to round if you have a...
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
So what'll happen is you'll end up with, like, you'll start your thing and you'll get your 2 commodities and your upkeep will reduce that number
Okay.
and then you keep going from there. So
Yeah, so I
And we
think-
can have a whole bunch of commodities come in at the beginning, and we can store up to 4 of them after we're all done.
correct. Yep. Exactly.
But I don't see a lot of other leadership activities we're going to want to take. Personally, I don't
Not at the
see.
moment, no.
Well, I want to quell unrest.
Why
Yes,
do we
there's
wanna-
no unrest, but I want to rule with an iron fist.
Oh, good grief. This is why you're
They're
not
going to
our
learn
leader.
early on. Kidding. I'm like Fez.
I mean, I
I'll
guess
take
we
my
could.
vacation and return to my home country and rule with an iron fist.
I guess we
So-
could try crafting luxuries.
Okay. There's also the purchase commodities
Right.
skill.
So we could
You can
purchase.
spend RP to purchase commodities, but doing so is more expensive than gathering them or relying upon your trade agreements. When you purchase commodities, select a commodity you wish to purchase: food, lumber, luxuries, ore, or stone. Expend 8 RP if you're purchasing luxuries, 4 if you're purchasing any other commodity, then attempt a basic check. So you could purchase for 4 the lumber you need to make the work camp. Type idea.
We don't need lumber for work camps, but to build in our city, we
No,
need.
the build in the city. But we could get things and build structures right
That's-
away.
I see.
So
what
yes,
you're
there are definitely actions you want to look at. I like the quell unrest just because I like the idea of Keith ruling by a
Solomon ruling with an
Solomon
iron
ruling,
fist.
But
it's a very tiny iron fist.
but it's
but-
4 RP.
There.
It's 4 RP to purchase.
A commodity.
Yes.
Correct. You don't have, so I looked at request foreign aid. That's only if you're in a lot of trouble, which you don't need. But you could send a diplomatic envoy somewhere if you needed to as well. The good news is, like I said, you already have,
But you.
I've already given you the
and the worst
diplomacy
thing you do.
between Restov and Oleg, so I'm not worried about that. Theoretically, you could have sent someone to do that, but the point being, the charter granted you, like the grant charter said, Restov is there to help you.
Mhm.
So I wouldn't penalize you by saying, well, you have to first start by sending a diplomatic envoy and then you have to do this, because they've already said they're going to help you. Now, if you went with the open one, which we were talking about, then you would have had to do that,
Yeah.
because you pretty much kind of turned your back a little bit on Lady J, and she goes, well, then fine. But, you know, at that point, they can't openly help you. So you have to send an envoy, et cetera, et cetera. So not worried about that. Spread legend you can't do because you do not have a print press. I think you can do spread the word, though. Which is an arts check of a, you guys have a +5. Stories begin, bring pride. If you crit, you can gain fame for next month. Reduces a DC of a next random event this turn by 1.
Random events, what?
Oh yeah, we still got random events.
You could have an event. We're not going to do an event this this one.
Oh, we don't.
Well, we're trying to still make our way through all the tabs, and it's the last thing. So we got to do everything else first.
Okay.
So the question is, would you like to try anything?
I think spreading the word might not.
Because remember, you have 8 total actions, so you can do a decent amount.
Where's spread the word? It's not.
It's under leadership.
Yes, it's there, but when I mouse over it, it just says arts action.
Oh, just click on it. The flyway arrow on the side, right side. Brings up your nation action.
I mean, the only real bonus of that is if we get a critical success, that increases our fame and reduces the round of it. However,
correct. You'd have to roll a 15 to.
Does it use any resource points?
No.
Then we might as well try it.
Okay, who wants to click on that?
Your idea.
All right.
Push the lever, Crunk.
Ah!
And he crits.
All right, so we get an extra fame point next month.
Yay, fame!
And if we do get a random event, it reduces the DC by 1. Okay, so that was one action. Do we want to do the purchase commodities so we can actually build this round?
We do that. How many commodities do we get?
We can get, so on a critical failure, you get no commodities. On a regular failure, you get 1. On a success, you get 2. And on a critical success, you get 4.
So we could get either nothing or up to 4.
It's 4 of your chosen type and 2 of any other type. Eventually get 6.
Up to 6, okay.
And which action were you looking at doing?
Purchase commodities.
So what do we need for a building?
Lumber.
1 lumber builds us a building. And we can only build 1 building because we only get 1 civic activity. So it'd probably be tenements.
Yep, not a bad idea to try. Would mean we'd only be able to do 1 work camp, though.
Yeah.
How many RPs?
1.
Okay. So we got 6 RP left.
After
We'll have 6 RP after if we go for the commodities, and we can build tenements right away.
I think that's worth the trade-off.
I think so.
Hey, who wants to roll that one?
No, I did the trade agreement.
So far, Gwen's the only one who hasn't
I
rolled.
rolled 1 yet. Oh, yep.
Give her a whirl there, Gwenny.
Please
happens.
don't call me that.
See?
Oh,
Boy.
damn!
For me calling you Gwenny.
So our chosen type was going to be wood, right?
Yes, that's
And
what
then
we need
2
to start building.
commodities of any other type. So why don't we go food?
That's a good idea.
Wow. Jeez. Okay, so you got 2. 2 food and 2 lumber.
No, 4 lumber and 2 wood, or
Two food.
2 food, because it was a critical success.
Yep.
Yeah.
You immediately gain 4 commodities of the chosen type
We were
and
going
2
for
of
wood.
any other except luxuries.
We're going for wood.
4 wood and 2 food.
Yep.
There you
Sounds like
go.
a plan.
Wow.
Go us.
Apparently dice love you guys today.
Yeah, for now, we've only rolled 3 times.
Hey, you know what? I mean, they counted. Those are very
Yes.
important ones.
Yes, they did.
It's just a base check, too. That's the thing.
Correct. Yeah, it's just a base check.
It's when you try to repeat them.
That's where
That's
you
when
get.
it starts getting difficult.
Yep.
Yes.
That's where you start incurring penalties and everything else. Okay, so far you have done
DCs start going.
a Oh my
Spread
goodness!
the word
Spread the word
and purchase commodities.
and purchase commodities. So you've done 2. Theoretically, you have 6 more if you wish.
Yeah, we do have 6 more.
I want to recruit an army.
Now that
Recruit
we can
army
be
simple?
sure that we're going to have the food to do it, go ahead.
Anyone object?
Go ahead, recruit
Right.
your army.
No, it's not a bad idea to start thinking about protection.
Okay.
War,
And
the
I think
warmongering
infantry
cleric
is the easiest to do.
It's actually the only one you can do
Oh, okay.
first level.
So going for some infantry, and we can try this multiple times if we really think it's important.
I just see recruit army simple and recruit army specialist.
Well, you've got
You did
one
not do
leadership
it.
activity left. So
Oh no,
It says it's a success.
your simple DC is actually 10.
yeah.
So that, yeah, something's up with that. So no, you actually did fail. So you failed to recruit the army.
So if everyone doesn't mind, I'm trying to second.
Well, now you're into my leadership activities.
Oh, good grief.
Or
Gwen's
Carly's. Or Carly's.
class. Yeah, but she can't consent unless she texts us. Carly, can you text us
I'm trying again.
and see if
All right.
Owen can try and recruit his army again?
There we go.
That's
That was
better.
it.
All right, there we go.
So we have an infantry unit.
Huge issues here.
Every time we do a roll, I get a thing popping
Yeah,
up.
there's a problem with the script.
It's
and I
actually a
got- I gotta
critical
let the guy know.
success, Corey.
It does say.
No.
Oh, no. No.
No, you have to be a 20 to be a crit.
Yeah. Okay.
It's saying the simple DC is
Yeah.
0.
So we recruit the army. We have an infantry army.
Oh, yeah, it doesn't have the right DCs in there.
No, I gotta see what the heck's
Which
going on
is-
with this.
Okay, we just
I
record it
need
as
a-
a simple success.
So I just gotta grab a.
Now we take that army and send them off to chop down some trees as part of the training.
No, they're training with
Okay.
Mary?
Mary.
No,
Yeah,
Valerie.
and she's like the first.
Oh,
thing
yes,
you do.
Valerie. Amiri is our general.
correct.
Valerie's the warden.
So the first thing you do is go into the forest and chop down some trees to learn how to use your axes.
Janice suggested, I just want to bring this up because it's pertinent. Janice suggested using a reroll. You can't use your personal rerolls on this, but our fame, and we get 1 fame point to begin. We could have just done a reroll using the fame.
Fame point. Ah.
Because you get a fame point and they reset every turn anyway.
Oh, but it's our fame point.
Yes.
It's the nation's fame point. So like a player.
I'm just
point.
being
now
obstreperous.
next
I'll be all droppy on
game
you.
you would actually get 2
Yeah,
Because we
because of the spread the word.
Yeah.
So you'll start with
Yes.
2 fame
If we wanted an army right away, we should have let me know, and that I would have put my vote in for warfare.
points.
Well, I wanted an army, and I figured we could try it multiple times. If
All right. So far you've done 2 recruitments,
At least 2 times.
Yeah.
Anyway.
spread the word, and purchase supplies. You've done 4 of technically your 8.
And then we need our people to procreate, so we're going to do spread the legs.
That's a weird
Don't think
one, but
that's a
all right.
choice.
Now again, you don't have to do all of them if you don't wish.
Do we
don't
want to
think there's anything
relocate,
else we wanna
relocate the capital?
No. We
While
haven't
they're-
even built one yet.
Well, when we go to bed and while they're asleep, I relocate the capital.
Okay, interesting. Now you can also do
I take down
different.
the tent, fold it up, and move across the river.
You can do rest and relax activities.
Oh.
Yeah, that might not be a bad idea if everybody's working hard.
So you reduce unrest by 1 if you crit, and the next leadership activity you take gains a +2 circumstance bonus. Now it all depends if you're planning on doing any more leadership activities because you have 4 more technically to go. If you wish. Again, you don't have to.
We could do a show of force.
No. We don't have force yet. We're still learning.
Oh, and sorry, and you have blown another 4 points of resource? Yes. You're at 6. Okay. All right. Is there any other
Oh.
one you wish? Yeah. That's what I say too, Jenna. You. There is deliberate planning. Choose a continuous event that will affect your nation this turn and attempt a scholarship check versus that event's DC.
That's going on yet, so.
I mean, it could just be weather.
We could recruit more armies.
Nope. No, we're good.
We're rolling hot. Those pledge of fealties are starting to sound tempting. We could be at kingdom level
like-
2.
Like my ruling with an iron fist.
If we do deliberate planning, can be
You must bow down in fealty, bend the knee to our tent in the woods.
It's kind of a porta potty.
You better not be doing that in my tent. I'm the only one that owns a tent, you bastard.
Oh no, I have my own tent.
Okay, yours is the porta potty then.
No, I have a
So
hammock.
I have a mule or a donkey.
I have a hammock and a big cat.
Yeah, there's not much else for that.
I don't know. The only thing I can think of for deliberate planning would be survival and against the weather and whatever. What's it called? Exposure? But I think it's more for a random event that would happen.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything else really to. Nothing else is catching my eye, so we're not. I don't think we'll be our actions.
They're stupid helping. You gotta succeed at a higher check than any check that we have to help someone.
Yeah, the help's an odd action for sure.
It's harder to help than it is to actually just do it.
I mean, we
And
could
you
also
give them a
do.
+1.
We could do warfare exercises, which gives us a +1 this round and next round to any army action. An army activity can be fortify army. Basically, they dig in where they are. Here in our
Fortify our camp.
yeah, basically. That'd be the only other thing I can really see that might. Unless Keith wants to just randomly quell the non-existent unrest.
Right, I'd walk out and smack a bitch. Keep acting up, you'll get that too.
Him and his little tiny fit. Like,
No.
it like hit my
No, no.
knee. Like, god damn.
I said knock
No, I got powerful leap. I jump up and smack him.
That
knock
visual's
to do
kind
it.
of humorous, to be
That
very
way he
honest.
gets the shit for
No. I smack knock knock.
it.
Or, you
This
know,
will happen if you get a line.
I see you coming and raise my shield.
Okay. All right. So we're pretty much done with the leadership activity.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
All
we're
right. So
reaching if we
regional
try and do that.
activity.
Sorry, I'm going to backtrack slightly.
Mm-hmm.
We might as well try the warfare exercise just because it gives a +1 next round.
My God. While he's sleeping, I write on the back of his robes, Warmonger.
All right. So I was
It
unsuccessful.
definitely does not work.
Oh. Why didn't you lobby for warfare as one of our skills?
Well, it doesn't matter when he rolls a 5.
All right.
That would have succeeded. Because we would have been at +5.
All right. So now we're moving to the region activities. So the region activities are collectively 3 things you can do.
We have to choose as a group what 3 things we want.
And that's where
And
we
you
talked
guys
about
decide
it.
who rolls any skill checks needed to resolve these issues. After that is then your civic activities phase, which you now may attempt 1 civic activity for each of the kingdom's settlements.
Which is
Okay, so
Which is 1.
if we establish a work site lumber camp, that uses up 4 of our 6. We have plenty of lumber. I'm thinking we try to establish farmland. Only 1 RP.
Yes, because it's in plains. So we establish a work
So
site
this would be
lumber
1.
camp. And
No, because that takes up 4, and we need RP for building the tenements.
yeah, we've got 6 left.
A work site
this uses
would
one.
a work site would be 4.
Yeah, so a work site in the wood.
Farmland would be 5, and that would leave us with 1 left.
Okay,
And 1 RP for tenements and 1 lumber for tenements.
So
'cause
we
we
would
already
have
have
enough
the
to do it all.
commodities.
okay. So why don't you do the work site in the forest?
All right. Here I go. Here I go again.
Oh, the lumber?
So
That is a true crit.
Yep.
and so what is the?
So that was a work site, and
Oh, so it provides us with 2 wood instead.
until the
We
end
discovered
of the
an
next kingdom turn.
unexpectedly rich supply
So,
of high quality
we get 2.
trees.
We'll get 2 lumber as a commodity next.
We
Until
found-
the end of next turn.
We found a grove of birch trees. We get fine wood.
Yeah. Trying to
You
get pine wood's a
wood.
pain in the ass when you're on very, very difficult
All
biome.
right. So we'll have two lumber next when we gather our
Awesome.
commodities.
Yay.
Okay.
So that's one roll.
You want to roll the established farmland, Quinn?
The other one I was thinking was supplementary hunting because it doesn't take any and could get us some extra food.
Oh, it doesn't take
That's
any
what
RP?
Econdio gives us, supplementary
Econdio.
hunting.
And I
And it doesn't cost anything.
go to basic wilderness.
It's just
check
one of
this.
the
Yeah.
activities.
So if we
Okay.
want to use our
Ooh.
third, that's a good one to
Do
put
you
it
want
on.
to roll that one then, Quinn?
Sure. Supplementary hunting.
Well, I thought you'd want to do the hunting.
I'll do the established farmland.
Okay, so supplementary hunting. Jeez, you guys.
Well, that's not a crit though.
Not a crit, but
No.
it is a success.
You gain 1d4 food commodities.
Nice.
One luxury commodity and one bonus resource die at the start of our next.
Nice.
Correct.
Wow. We're up
That's
to
phenomenal.
4 bonus resource die, so we're 9 resource die next kingdom turn.
Awesome.
All right.
All right, so you can roll
Do you want me to roll it now, or do you
1d4.
want to roll it at the start of the next turn?
You gain 1d4 food commodities.
One luxury commodity.
Oh, at the
start of your
At the
next
start of the
kingdom,
next
okay.
turn. So there's no point in rolling it now
Yeah.
because we won't remember
Write
this.
that down for
Well,
next
the
time.
thing is, it's supposed to be actually doing. That's why these LUAs are coming up. It's supposed to actually be tracking all this,
Oh, but
and it's a
not.
script error, not
Yeah,
writing
because
the shit down.
Okay.
it's trying to create a new empty log, new action log.
Correct. And something's not allowing it to. I don't
Instead of
know what
making
it is.
entries into the action log.
Correct.
So we probably should be
So
writing down that we've been
this should be
succeeding at
being
this
noted.
stuff.
It's like, if only you had computers with notes attachment to it or something weird.
Or,
I thought
right
a
into the
video that we
computer.
could watch to remind ourselves.
I mean, if you want to spend 4 hours doing that, you're
I
more than welcome
thought
to.
I saw Owen doing
I think
that
we're
on
gonna-
his phone.
No, I was writing down what I wanted to
Well,
do.
Okay, well, I will add a session 16.
Oh,
Okay, so the
You're gonna
management
do notes?
agreements we got how many?
Session 16.
oh, Gwen's doing
Kingdom.
notes.
Okay.
Building. There's going to be lots of typos in this. Okay, so, well, at least I can scroll up and look at
Or we get our archivist to watch the video and do all the
Well,
sorts.
I'm sure Carly's going to watch anyway, but I will make some
Don't ruin her
I will
holiday
make
by
some
making her
basic
take
notes because we're not actually like our characters aren't doing stuff. We're hashing out math.
I know. It's not that we've come to rely on you or anything. Oh wait, yes we have.
She's writing Amiri's journals,
Okay.
so they're going to be awesome once it's all done.
So,
Lindsay's journals?
Right, yes, Lindsay. Cannot spell.
first thing, trade agreements.
Hold on. First delete. There it is. Boy, I cannot spell. Collected, not collected. 14 resource collected. Leadership actions, was it?
Well, either way, trade agreements got us.
Yeah, but that was a leadership action, right?
Oh, that's a commerce act.
Oh, right.
Commerce activity.
Activities.
We
Commerce
got,
activities.
we got 2 extra RP die.
4 research points on
Jeez, you guys getting some good
And-
rolls. Holy shit.
trade agreements.
And some shit rolls.
And what was it? 1 lumber, 1 food, or was it 2 food?
Druid knows how to selective log.
I use bullet points.
Well, we got two
Trade commodities?
extra commodities. We got 2 extra.
Was it a trade
commodities and
commodity?
a trade agreement. I know what we got. I'm just wondering, did we choose 1 lumber, 1 food, or two
I
food?
think we went with 2 food.
Yeah, I think so.
Right.
Remember that we can only store 4
Correct.
functional commodities.
Oh, we'll be consuming both of the food at the
But
beginning
we'll
of
be
next turn.
collecting it and consuming it, and then storing whatever's left over.
Yep.
You have until the end of the turn.
There
Okay,
we
so that
go.
was managed trading unit.
That was managed trade agreement. Next was spread the word.
Which was that was a critical as well. Yeah.
Yes.
+1 fame and reduces DC of next random event by 1.
Oh,
And
we have no unrest, so reducing unrest by 1d6. Yeah, I'm reducing unrest by 1d6.
Reducing our non-existent unrest.
There we go.
I-
I beat the hell out of Knock Knock.
Really important. Knock, knock.
And then Lindsay sings to him and he's happy again.
Oh, good
I don't
grief.
think that's exactly how it works, but all right.
Considering it's supposed to bring pride and patriotism to the nation, how does beating up a goblin help us?
I get everybody to join in.
Oh, guys, no!
God.
Or knock, knock.
All right.
I'm
So,
pretty sure the rest of your leadership council would stop you.
yeah. Okay. So that's the spread the
Spread
word.
the word. Yep. Purchase
And then we
commodities.
recruited an infantry army.
I did purchase commodities first. I'm scrolling down the list.
Okay.
Just purchase commodities.
And I got a critical success there.
We went with 4 wood and 2 food.
Food. Okay. Next are the leadership activities.
That was leadership.
Yes. The first of our leadership activities.
Okay, so commerce was just the trade agreements?
Yep. Purchase commodities, and then someone
Spread the word. Purchase
had to get their
commodities.
Warhawk on. We recruited an army. It's like Oblar comes running out. Hey, who wants to be in an army? And the 7 of us go, we do,
And they're like,
Aren't we already?
because there's only like 20 of us here.
you are the brute squad.
But then I try it again, and people step out of the woods and like, yeah, I'll join you.
Where did they come from?
Literally stepping out of the woodwork.
Thought yours and Sienna's perception was better than that. You guys were hiding there all this time?
We knew they were there. We just didn't tell you.
I was focused on something else.
All right, so we recruited an army. Then we did.
You tried warfare. It didn't work.
The first time.
Yeah.
Tried the second time.
Took 2 tries to recruit an army.
Yeah, but you only tried the warfare exercises once.
Oh,
yeah.
yes. And then tried warfare exercises, and that failed.
So just a heads up that when you do leadership, unless it says you can try it a second time, you cannot.
Oh,
So you try to recruit an army unless it says you may attempt it a second time in the same turn.
okay. So
We
then we
used the fame
cannot.
point.
used our fame point.
We use your fame point. Yes, exactly. So no fame for you.
Fine, we get 2 next turn.
I'll let him use it. I'll put my vote towards him using the fame point.
All right.
Okay,
Roll that.
and then establish work
Just
site
to make
is
him happy.
region
He got to
activity.
recruit an army.
Yeah.
There you go. But you're right. He should have taken warfare. And a little warlord.
know, I agree.
He's going more. He's leaning more into the Aristal Hunter's side.
His first 2 leadership actions are
Fucking
warfare.
warmongering.
Warfare. Like, why didn't you put your vote into warfare
Yeah,
as
he's
one
like,
of our skills?
I'm not saying I'm going to start a war.
But if one happens,
Oh, and tell me
I'm
how
ready.
you want to start a war without saying you want to start a war.
Not-
So I need an army, and we need to train the army, and then we're going to feed the army,
Not saying I'm
and then release the army.
Not saying I'm going to change anything, but one of Aristole's domains is going to be war.
All right.
If I had my way about it.
I love it. So
Establish
funny.
the work site.
Yeah, establish work site, quick success. Double 2. Okay, so site, wood or lumber. Crit success.
So it's 2 wood next.
Double lumber next turn. Okay. Next was the supplementary hunting.
was successful.
And I want to point out, you're welcome.
What?
It was my actions that brought us a Uncandeo or whatever his name is.
Icandale? Yeah.
Uncandeo. You're welcome.
What?
I recruit.
Well, yeah, we'll call you out to join us.
So you got the supplementary.
We all got our
right?
ass beat by the troll. Is Ordella getting beaten like a drum by the troll?
Like I paid the troll extra.
Oh no, Akindeo's not the one that I.
We
It
saved
was-
Econdeo from the troll.
Who was the guy that was wearing the Aristotles?
Oh,
That's
that's Akios, I believe, from the Stag
yes.
Lord.
Okay.
Stag-
Oh, yeah. He,
But he's
he
hanging
won
with
his-
us, right?
Oh, is
Or did he stay?
yes.
stay in Restov?
No, he
He
actually
didn't go to Restov.
He didn't go to Restov.
He
He
stayed
stayed at
at Oleg's.
Oleg's.
Right.
Okay, so he's
Correct.
probably amongst our entourage.
Every time
Correct.
I talked about Ekindeo, I actually meant him.
Yeah.
Just so we're
Oh.
clear.
But Econdeo gave us the supplementary
Yes.
team.
You're right.
Yeah, that's who I thought we were talking about. Was the guy we got from Stag.
Ekindeo wasn't my. You don't have to think.
No, Ekandeo is the level 1 little ranger
Yeah.
that got the shit kicked out of him by a
Roll.
troll
Is that
that
the,
had the dog.
is that the one that I missed with Oma?
Could have been. Did you
Yes,
fight a
it
troll?
was.
I don't remember.
Oh yes, because I crit failed its saving throw on your flaming sphere,
That's right.
Yeah.
and you killed it with the flaming sphere.
Oh, awesome.
And you're like, next time I have to roll all of it. So
right. Supplementary 100 success, 1d plus 1d4
Food.
Food commodities.
food.
One luxury commodity.
Turn.
Bonus reason. I think that's
Okay.
one we're going to want to take every turn.
Or
if we can.
bonus resource dice.
all right, so your regional activities. So you did the supplementary hunting.
Establish work site.
You established the work site, the lumber camp.
And,
And what was the third one you were doing?
Establish farmland is the next one we haven't rolled yet.
Okay, so establish the farmland. Who is rolling for that?
I am.
Okay, perfect. That is a crit success.
So we established 2 farmland hexes.
Two
instead of
adjacent
one.
farmland
Oh,
hexes
this is
instead
a
of
great
one.
start for our kingdom.
If your target hex was a hills hex, the additional hex may be a hills hex or plains hex. Otherwise, additional hex must be a plains hex. If
So-
no hex,
So it's basically going to be the 2 hexes following the river. Because I think those were both plains.
so like downriver towards the rickety
Do
bridge.
they?
Yeah.
Does a farm take up the entire hex?
Oh, that's a good point. No, yes, it does.
Oh no! The
does
established
take footage.
farmland DC is
Against your control DC.
plus.
No, that's if it's in hills. We were in plains.
Oh, okay. There
If
we go.
it's in plains, 1 RP and
Oh.
against the control DC, which is 10.
And actually, your control DC is 14.
14, yeah.
Okay, so it's
So
not
you
a
did not crit.
So it's not a crit.
establish one farmland.
We
Okay.
established one farm.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of work I got to do on this.
That's okay. I don't think
I
we
think-
had.
One of the things I'm going to try doing is actually firing this up on Foundry and seeing if their
Works.
kingdom generator is working better.
Right.
Because we can always just track that on Foundry, which is just web-based anyway, so it wouldn't affect you guys at all.
Right.
And we may do region, or if it works better than this, but we may do our regions on Foundry instead. But that'll take me a lot of time to muck around.
Okay. So that is our region activities.
Jay Bear says you are counting on your emissary rolls going bad, so you need the army for protection.
Except he's the emissary, not me.
They back you up till your nose bleeds.
I'm the treasurer.
All right, so those are your 3 region events. Boom.
Right. Then we get 1 civic event.
Now you get one thing to do in your civic phase.
So we're going to build a structure.
Okay, you're going to build a structure.
Tenements.
Tenement.
How's
All right. The tenement DC is
Word something
14.
different.
Okay.
Your t-
Okay, so I can actually adjust those numbers. Oh, I see. Okay.
That's why they're in the zeros.
That's why they're
You
zeros,
set them.
because I put the number in,
Uh,
and that gives you your DCs. Okay. All right, so you have your build structure civic engineering. Now, I know it's a DC 14 because I just checked. It takes 1 resource point
So last
which
one.
is our last one.
and 1
Wood.
lumber.
Have more than enough.
Okay, who's rolling?
I say not me. I've been rolling like crap.
I'll give it a go.
Okay.
Gwen's going to build some tenements.
Okay,
All
build
right.
structure.
Calls up some vines and makes them.
The vine hut.
Flat.
Everyone just holds the frame in place.
Yeah.
And then she casts Entangle. And we hope that the people holding the things in place make their checks.
So it uses our last resource point and 1 lumber, right?
Yes.
Correct.
Roll to build a structure.
Definitely made it.
17. You made it.
17, yay, we built a structure.
So we
Woohoo!
construct or repair the structure. Well, people have somewhere to live. They don't have to live in tents. They can now live in shanties.
Again, it throw off that.
Bunch of
button there.
lean-tos instead of tents.
We built tenements.
Pops
So
up
on
there.
our
Mhm.
story, that has to take up a slot on our city grid. So
Yes.
you want to grab that.
Yeah, because right here under a no. That's,
We have a tenement. Next. Kingdom's turn. The
Tavern.
tavern.
The Dive Tavern.
Dive. No, town hall.
That's the name of it, but it's
Oh
really
yes, it's going to be town hall.
it's gonna be really confusing when we actually
Big.
build a town hall.
Big sign, a rough on sign with floppy paint. DWNHALL.
The diplomat shows up. They look for the town hall and they end up in a fucking dive bar. That's
Ooh.
great.
Look, we've got tenement on our construction in progress.
Hooray!
okay, so this may be. Okay.
Where you're making note of where we built the.
Nope, not yet. Logs up. Okay. Interesting.
It has 1 rune of our choice. Grime.
What?
Front 1 rune of our choice.
Oh yeah.
What, the building?
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a tenement. They're not very. They're.
Well, it's better than a tent.
But it's not as good as a house.
Yeah, but we don't have enough to do houses yet.
But when we build houses, it reduces that 1 rune.
No.
Well, and eventually we can take out the tenement and put a real house in there. But right now, it's a spot for more than 1 person
And
to
that's the
sleep.
point, and that's why
Probably
it's
because it's janky.
incentive to get rid of the tenement and build a house. Or
Okay.
houses.
But because it's a. You can only get houses by building a tenement first.
Good.
We have to start with that.
All right. Who wants to roll me percentiles?
Oh, you're going for the event now?
The event is happening.
Ooh.
Oh no.
It's a base DC.
Oh, we did our civic thing and ended
Yep.
done.
And so the
Oops.
it's a flat check of 16. I rolled a nat 20.
Oh, dear.
But it just
I'll
means
roll
it happens.
I'll roll it.
You're gonna roll percentiles? All right. Give me percentiles.
Hopefully 18 doesn't
18. Let's see what happens. Oh God. I'm just kidding.
suck.
Just want to see Owen pee a little. It's fine.
Oh,
It
no,
worked.
storm, flood, everything's washed away. That's it. I'm done.
Yeah,
Blood. Oh no,
Well,
my
that-
tent.
Our little tiny stream turns into a raging river.
Our huts.
washes
Oh,
away
no.
our tenements. No!
Our huts. Oh,
We just built that.
One good thing. We won't lose our wood. It floats.
Well, we get washed downstream.
It.
Gotta go find it.
That's okay. It'll be easy to find. All the sawn up stuff. It does say lumber, not logs.
Cheap and fast to build. Yep.
I don't like that little smirk Corey's got on his face as he's reading what event it is.
Yeah, houses.
It just got bigger. Right. So tune in next week for our TPK.
This might be the shortest lived kingdom ever.
Okay, I'm not going to do that one.
Well,
Energy
It doesn't make sense at the timing. Roll me another percentile, please.
Making not good.
It was just
18. 62.
62.
What did it blow down our church? We didn't have a church.
it was actually cult activity.
Cult
there-
activity.
Yeah, but there's no HQ in your one fucking
No.
tenement you build. It's just like emo tent,
Cult
emo tent. You're like, the fuck is going on in that
Cult,
building?
cult activity. Dude in the forest started a cult. A cult of Aristotle. What's
Like,
going on
I don't
there?
get it.
None to see here. Ignore the screaming of the goat.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're doing prognostication
go-
anyways.
You're gonna go undercover. This is your problem.
And you know I'm not the cult leader. I mean,
Well, you've been with us the whole time.
I mean, I guess you could just ask me. I can't lie.
Are you the cult leader?
Define cult.
Cult.
Like, listen, sir.
Am I Oblar Hilltopper, the cult leader? No, not at all.
Okay.
Rolbo, on the other hand, sure is.
Couldn't ask you that.
Cult leader's name is Rolbo.
Robbo. Albo.
Rolbo. My evil twin.
Well, they calm down.
I need to check one thing.
I had them lunch.
So
So.
Oblar dies. I am going to make his evil twin. Rolbo.
Rob Lowe.
Rolbo. Brown chicken, brown cow. How you doing?
No.
He doesn't wear pants, but
Why are you winking?
Not the first party member I've known that doesn't wear pants for some reason.
true.
Okay.
Grace Goblin in Shauna's campaign also does not wear pants.
He short cocks it everywhere he goes.
Winnie the Pooh in it everywhere.
Surprising.
Winnie the
Pants
Pooh in
in
it
mine.
everywhere. Who says I am?
I do.
Maybe I'll do that for
Okay.
LARP. Get some
Not wear
long,
pants?
get some long tunics, and then tell everyone I'm not wearing pants, and
Might
not
not be
wear
the-
pants,
This might not be the right time of year to do it.
and everyone will think I'm wearing wearing a
Nice.
kilt,
So,
but I just show up in a shirt.
as you guys are building your area, you hear some grumblings from a few of the folks around the outskirts and stuff that they've seen odd things in the forest, and they're not sure exactly what to do about
It's just
it.
Solomon. Don't worry about it.
Are we anywhere near our little fairy friend?
Yes, they're just.
No, you are about 2 plus hexes away from them, I believe.
Okay, so
Nope.
a couple of days away from where they live. Okay,
Good. No, the map
So they
tells us
seem-
just
When you ask,
the northwest.
when you ask a little bit more, they say they're kind of weird looking lizards that are gray scaled. They're humanoid, but they're staying far enough away that they can't really get a good look at them.
Oh, are these the kobolds? The remnants of the kobolds that we
They were red scale.
or were they blue? Oh no, those the
They were gray scales. They were suit scale.
Oh,
Yes, yeah. I thought so.
Ah, so yes, it is. I think we have
Likely
some
though.
kobold friends hanging around because the tribe did break up.
friends.
Yeah,
So I need you to roll
use that
me
term
a
loosely.
statecraft.
Ooh.
Oh,
The roll
Take
is 1, 2, 3,
that.
not it.
I'll do it. I think that as the emissary, that's something I would do, I suppose. We're not very good at this.
We're not very good at statecraft.
So don't blame me if it all goes to shit.
I don't know. I kind of with harm on this point. It's all but inevitable.
It's all but inevitable. Here we go, guys, to the shortest lived kingdom in KingMaker.
Oh dear God! And we already used the pain point.
Our good rolls had to come to an end sometime.
Yes, they do.
So the kobolds encounter discrimination, xenophobia, and are eventually driven back into the wild.
Oh
Please roll me a d4 as your unrest increases.
no! Oh
Oh no!
And your
Now you can
strife
call.
increases
Wait,
by
so
1.
Lindsay did
Oh,
something
Jesus.
that reduces the unrest.
That's true.
Which will come off next turn.
Okay. Well, roll your d4, Keith. Take responsibility for your actions.
That's the wrong dice.
Anarchy! Anarchy!
You know why I rolled a 3? Because I'm leading the mob against kobolds.
They said gray, but he heard purple.
Yep,
No, he just heard the word kobold and got all pissed off.
I'll go with that.
Oh, we could have had kobold friends, but you screwed it up.
He didn't want kobold friends.
I tried my hardest.
What, to get rid of them?
I clicked that button with all the will to succeed.
Oy vey. So we've now got crime +1 and strife +1.
Oh, fabulous.
What? That's on our main page.
All right.
Well,
Very
that's from the
interesting.
tenement. +1
Yeah,
crime.
the crime. Yeah.
I insisted that the tenement be filled with criminals.
Good-
Why are we bringing
good choice.
criminals with us?
No, he is the criminal.
He's the one in the tenement.
Restov sent a bunch of penal colonists.
Oh, so you guys
we're
are Australia.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Sorry, B.
And my hatred of kobolds,
Not sorry, B.
Pathfinder kobolds, because I think they look ugly. The art for kobolds in Pathfinder is terrible.
Gecko based rather than
They're ugly is all they are.
moto based.
I like.
Wait,
them
so you determine
dragon
someone's
based.
value based on how good looking they are?
No, I
Rude.
determine their value on how shitty their art is in Pathfinder's art.
Okay, draw
for
me a picture.
kobolds.
I want to judge you.
I didn't say I was an artist. I said their artwork for kobolds in Pathfinder 2nd edition is crappy.
Rather specific.
All right, so that is
It's because
pretty much
the
how a
D&D
turn
artwork-
works. Now, obviously, as we do more of these, they'll get much faster. Normally, we spent 3.5 hours pretty much trying to slug through.
Well, we had to learn how all this stuff worked.
Yep,
And we learned.
absolutely.
Hopefully you out there in Twitch and YouTube land learned as well.
Yeah, I'll definitely be reading more over this,
Which I'm pretty sure is just Jana.
and just ensuring that
Try.
the next
Try.
time we go through another turn, it'll be a little bit faster. I think we'll end up probably doing these turns more online, like on a Discord
Unless it's something
call or
major.
something.
And then we
just
can discuss them shortly.
exactly.
Except for maybe the events. I think the events we should roll on air.
Yeah, well, events we can we can go over. Some events are very like they're handled by the kingdom turn.
Oh, okay.
Some events are things you guys do have to deal with,
So,
such as the cult would be like kind of a little side quest and stuff, which is why I'm like,
so this was a month
Correct.
of downtime.
correct. This is a month of downtime. So when we come back in 2 weeks, the things you can do is also because you were in Restov for several weeks,
We can shop.
you can do your shopping. We're definitely not going to do that on on stream, and any other downtime activities you had during the month. So the idea behind this is the downtime is a month, and then running the kingdom takes up 1 week of your time. So theoretically, you can also do 3 other downtime activities, such as crafting items or changing out feats that you're allowed to, et cetera, et cetera. You can do that over the rest of the month.
There's one that takes a month to do, and you can do that in conjunction with the kingdom thing.
Correct. Yeah, it's not
as
considered
well.
this is all you're doing for your downtime. This is part of the downtime activity. So yeah, you get a lot of extra stuff you can do.
So if you judge people by the artwork that's done of them,
Yeah.
that's the artwork done of you. Judge it.
Yeah.
Judge it.
It's not.
Too tall. It's got
You're-
too much hair.
Your
Not
artwork is crappy of Solomon. I do kind of like it though, actually. It's kind of cool.
But I think that's
I literally
actually
just
where we'll
did it,
end the
so.
stream for today. Like I said, we're going to sit here off stream and go over this a little bit more. We might even do one more quick turn, just to kind of go through this a little bit faster, just so we can get you guys kind of rolling a little bit more on it. I need to reset my Fantasy Grounds back to a base canvas to see if that's what's screwing up. It shouldn't be, because it's a script writing error. It shouldn't have anything to do with this, but we are getting double lines of everything, which is really odd. Like it's saying like to build blah blah. It shouldn't be doing that. So I think it might have to do something with the theme I'm using, which is called Baron. So I might have to just go to a very basic Fantasy Grounds background and see if that changes anything.
Right.
And we'll go from there. So because we didn't really do any combat and stuff, I think we won't worry about MVP. But we'll let Gwen keep her chip from last game to carry over
And
for
give me
next
an
game.
extra one.
And Keith gets none. Keith actually gets -1 next game.
No, I do not accept that.
You know, because he rolled really shitty and pissed off the kobolds. But you know,
But I critted on every other roll.
well,
that I did.
yeah, but that one, it's that one.
That was the important one. We could have
Yep,
had a
exactly.
Kobold Frenzy.
Okay, so
Could have had kobold friends. Nope. Okay.
no, I refuse to accept that.
He
So let
refuses
me-
your
You-
refutes your reality and substitutes its own.
Exactly.
Pretty much, yeah.
That doesn't make it reality. though.
Credit screen.
That's not reality either. 'cause
And yeah,
Not
so
my fault.
like I said, we're gonna
you
call her
just
here.
called the roll.
I'll get these posted up pretty quick onto my Mythic YouTube channel, and I think I'll also be running a kind of a tutorial on how to. So I learn a little bit more. I learn more by doing than by just reading, and I think that'll help all of us, you know, and other people who are trying to run this as well. I am going to also fire it up on Foundry and see if Foundry has a cleaner way of running the Kingdom turn, and I will also let the author of the mod for Fantasy Grounds know that I'm having these LUA errors and see if there's some type of fix I haven't tried. So, otherwise, that's it, folks. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see everyone
Bye.
in 2 weeks.